Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Turning Point Podcast. We are on episode number 8 now. My name is Ben, and I am joined here once again by Lewin. How you doing, my friend?
I am doing good. How are you?
Not too bad. I got got my coffee. I got I got my
You
coffee.
got your...
That's about it. It's the high point of my day today.
I got my cup of air.
That's good. I'm glad you've got that. Good for you. We need that to breathe.
Damn straight. I just wish there was a drink still in the cup.
But yeah, so today is a big episode. We got a fuckload to cover today. So we're going to be doing, finally, I've put this in the description for the past 2 episodes saying that we'll do The Last of Us the next episode, but then we ended up doing Clone Wars instead. But we're going to be doing The Last of Us this episode. We're going to be doing a full spoiler cast on that. We'll probably keep it brief because we got a lot of other stuff to cover as well, so we'll kind of just see how that formats later on.
Plus, it's been 7 years. If you haven't seen enough spoiler casts of The Last of Us by now, something might be wrong.
What the fuck are you doing? Honestly. But yeah, we're doing this because The Last of Us, on the day we are recording this, The Last of Us comes out tomorrow.
Yes. As of right now, about 9 hours from now.
Yeah, so not obviously when this is uploaded. By the time this is uploaded, The Last of Us
No.
is already out. But it's probably been out for
more than us.
It's probably been out for a week by now. But yeah, so we're going to be covering that. I just recently, literally, I've spent the last 2 days non-stop playing it, kind of. And what about you? Have you finished it? Did you finish it?
No.
No.
I finished it 3 times, so I'm banking on my knowledge from that being a thing.
Do you know what's funny? Is I checked the save files, right? And I shit you not, exactly to the day, which was, I started playing this on the 15th. I played a little bit that night, and then played through a little bit on the 16th, and then yesterday I just smashed through it from midday all the way to 9 o'clock at night and just finished it.
Nice.
Right? And I shit you not, to the day, it was exactly 5 years since I last finished that game. To the day, I shit you not. When I checked that save file, it said 15th of the 6th, 2015.
Very nicely done.
And I was like, what the fuck? That's weird. Tripped me out for a bit there. But yeah, we'll be covering that now. I didn't play Left Behind. I was going to, but then after finishing The Last of Us...
Have you played it before?
Yeah, I've played it before, yeah.
Okay.
I've only played it once, and that was probably back in 2014, 2015, so I don't really remember most of it. But yeah, so I replayed that, but also we had the PlayStation 5 reveal. It was about a week ago now, give or take a day or two.
Yep.
And so we're going to be discussing that. We've got a big list of games, so we're going to kind of go through that. We also have Star Wars Squadrons, which was revealed by EA. It was leaked. But at the time of recording, the EA Play event hasn't happened yet, so we haven't seen any gameplay or anything worth talking about. So we are going to cover the trailer, but we'll come back to that game at a bit of a later stage as well. Our probably next episode will be kind of a catch-up of everything that's been going on, with EA Play and the Ubisoft event and all that stuff that's happening. So we'll probably do a bit of that.
I just realized this episode is the perfect cap on all of our previous episodes that don't have anything to do with Doctor Who.
Yeah.
We got Star Wars, we got
You brought it up.
that
You know what? I'm
up.
disappointed there wasn't a Doctor Who game reveal as a part of Time Lord Victorious. What the fuck, PlayStation 5? Get your shit together.
One day we'll go an episode about referencing it.
Anyway, so we'll just start off with a very brief catch-up. How long has it been since we recorded the last episode? It's only been, 2 weeks?
2 weeks?
A week?
Yeah, around that.
Yeah, fuck all's happened in the last week, I can tell you that much. But what have you been up to lately?
Okay, so instead of finishing The Last of Us like I was meant to for this podcast, because every time I went to finish it, I paused the game, got back to it, and I was like, I don't feel like doing this right now. Apparently what I did feel like doing was finishing Resident Evil 1 4 times in a row in 3 days.
Okay. The remake or the original?
The remake.
Okay, nice, nice. I've actually got that. I've been meaning to play it since I got it, but I just never did. I kind of want to go
I
back and
can
play it at some point.
say it's a good game.
Yeah, I'm gonna play Resi 7 next, but I'll talk a little bit about that later on. But that's gonna be the next Resi game I play, and then I'll kind of figure it out from there. Um, but that's good. How was that? How was that?
That was by the end of it hell, but to begin with it was pretty damn fun. But I have now got the entire game memorized in my head on the Jill side of things. I've yet to play Chris
Congratulations.
because I will be doing Chris after I finish Resident Evil Zero to go through the series in chronological order.
Okay, so you're gonna go on a bit of a Resi binge for a bit.
Yep, see if I can lead up to
Mm,
8.
yeah, I want to. I'm not gonna play all of them. Like, I'm probably not gonna go back and play the old ones. To be honest with you, I'll probably just play the remake. And I'll probably play. I do want to play the Revelations games, so I'll probably play those as well. And I'll probably play 6 and 4 again at some point, and maybe even go back to 5. Despite my bad memories with 5, I may go back to that at some point. But I doubt I'm gonna play the older games. I do want. I might play Code Veronica at some point. I'm not playing any of the spin-offs apart from Revelations. I don't care.
Umbrella Corps, do it.
I don't care enough to play any of those fucking games, so I'm not going to. But I definitely want to try and get play a bit of Resident Evil before 8 comes out. We got plenty of time. We got like a fucking year, so I think it'd be cool to get through some games. So yeah, we're gonna be kind of both going on a Resident Evil binge at the same time, kind of. You're playing it in chronological order. I'm like, I'll just play whatever game I feel like playing now. So we'll see what happens there.
Both are fair ways to do it.
Yeah. You been watching anything? Anything going on in
Uh,
that department?
no, not really.
No, because you've been too busy playing Resident
The
Evil 3 to 4
last time
times in a
we
row.
talked, what was it? I was watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine last time we talked, wasn't it?
Probably. I don't know.
I finished that for the fourth time.
That was like fucking weeks ago, man. I'm probably to say weeks ago. It was like a week ago.
2 weeks
2 weeks
ago.
ago. I don't remember that shit. I don't remember what I did this morning. So,
What's your own episodes? I'm sure I mentioned it there.
Sure, probably. The best way to find out is to go back and listen to them. They're all available on my YouTube channel, and hopefully very
Maybe
soon, when I get around to it, Spotify. There we go. A nice little plug just slipped in there. Thank you for that. That's good. I've been playing a lot of Overwatch. Like a lot of
Nice.
Overwatch. I've actually been playing
Where you got Jeff Kaplan from?
probably. I got the new. I've been playing. Trying out the new hero Echo.
Is he any good? He looks weird.
Echo's a lot of fun, I have to say. At first, I didn't quite get how to play her, but after a bit, I started to get it. She's, for those who don't know, Echo. I mean, if you don't know, you probably never even seen these either. But Echo is the little AI android robot thing that has kind of turned up in a couple of the cinematics. So she was in the Ash and McCree cinematic. And she was, I think, in the Overwatch. Yeah, she was in the Overwatch 2 cinematic as well. But yeah, so she's into the game. I have no idea how long she's been in the game. It's been a while since I played Overwatch, but I was like, oh, new character. So I thought I'd give her a go. She's pretty cool. So she's an attack character. And her ult is she can take the form of any of the opposing team's heroes.
Ooh.
And you can kind of just pick that, and she gets all their abilities and everything for a limited time while the ult's active. And it's actually
Okay.
great because you actually build up the ult of the hero that you're ulting as well. And it builds up quickly because you only have a limited time using your ult as her.
Yeah.
So there was one match I was playing, and it was at Watch Point. Was it a Watch Point? No, it wasn't. It doesn't matter where it was at. It was on one of the maps, and we're at the point, and the enemy team had a Soldier 76. So I just went up, used my ult, went into Soldier, wrecked a heap of people, and then I got Soldier's ult straight away, very quickly because I got quite a few kills. So I just activated Soldier's ult and got a heap more kills. And my favorite thing about it is all of her voice lines are when you alt as one of the other characters, she also says at the same time. So you have like an overlap of two voice lines. You have the character that she's changed into and her own. So when she was like, when I did it, she was like, I've got you in my sights, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So yeah, she's a fun little hero to play. So I've been playing a bit of that, and of course playing Widow as well.
Awesome. I can get the trophies and the pixel sprays for doing the ults with her.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Neat.
It's pretty fun, and you go up and you just select which hero of their team. You have to be near them, and then
Okay.
when your alt appears, you can select. I think it's press triangle or some shit. God, I've played playing Overwatch since the beta, and I still don't know what the alt button is off the top of my head. I just press it. It's an automated thing. I don't even think about it. But I'm pretty sure it's triangle. But yeah, you just press that when you're near that enemy, and like a little display comes up to say this is who you want to change into, and then you change into that character and just fucking go for it. And her attacks are pretty good. She can fly. She has a similar kind of flying mechanic to Mercy, but it's just one of her powers it's not like Mercy's ult. It's just one of her powers that you can just use, and then she's got a couple of different attack options as well. So she's a lot of fun to play. I didn't quite get her the first few games, but after that I started like, really getting into playing a character, and I'm looking forward, now that I finished playing The Last of Us, I'm looking forward to playing her a bit more.
Okay.
Because I
Neat.
have no idea when I'm buying The Last of Us 2 yet. I haven't decided. I'm actually working tomorrow and not able to get it, and I don't want to buy it digitally because I've seen the download size and I don't want to do that.
It is 76
Yeah, no,
gigabytes.
I don't want to do that. So I'll probably buy disc copy when I can. But yeah, so I've been doing that. I haven't been doing much else though. I've been kind of just watching a heap of YouTube stuff and been trying to catch up on uni classes because I couldn't get access to them for the first 2 weeks of the trimester. So I've literally, yesterday when I was playing The Last of Us all day, I literally went through two classes from the last couple of weeks that went for like 3-4 hours each, and I just had them playing while I was playing The Last of Us, and it's been good. I didn't actually go to the classes I was meant to yesterday because I was meant to go to a class yesterday morning and yesterday afternoon. Instead, I just I'm catching up on classes that I haven't been able to do. But other than that, I haven't been doing much. Been kind of
All right.
busy. Yeah, just playing
It was,
Overwatch. Bit of a boring catch up segment this week.
yeah, to be fair, it's
Yeah.
only been 2 weeks since the last one.
Yeah, but I haven't found anything to replace. I haven't found anything to replace Community yet to watch. So, I did watch Love and Monsters, and I've already talked about that. So to you about that.
Get me started.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Well, no, like I mean, I actually like I'll talk more about it when we eventually do our Doctor Who rankings. But I like ideas in it. Like there's stuff that I like. There's like little moments where I'm like, hey, this is actually really good. But for me personally, I don't like how that episode is edited. And it's funny because the first, like back years ago when I watched it, I was never even concerned about the editing. But like that's what I do now. Like I'm an editor, so just watching that episode, I was like, there are so many weird cuts and like weird things happening in that episode that I'm just like, who edited this? Because it's really odd. So my main criticism now is just the editing. I'm like, it's really poorly edited. Why the fuck did you hire whoever? Why would you not watch the rough cut of that and go, you know what? I think we need to hire a different editor because fuck, it's a poorly edited episode. But I will say one thing. One thing I did enjoy, and I enjoyed it a lot, is the last fucking 10 minutes. Incredible. Incredible. I was laughing so hard the whole time. And like, it's just because of like, that last 10 minutes when like,
Yeah.
fucking, oh fuck, what's his name?
Elton?
Elton, yes.
Or,
So he's
yeah.
running and the Absorbaloff is chasing him and it's sped up. It looks so
Yeah.
fucking funny. I love that so much. But my other favorite thing was there's a couple of great like little one-liners in that little span of time as well. My favorite one being when the Doctor and Rose appears and the Doctor's like, you're not from Rexicorica Fallopatorius, and like his reaction, he's like, the swine, and I'm just like, that is great. I love this. And then he's like, oh, we're from the sister planet. And it's like, oh, what's the sister planet of Rexacocophallopatorius? He's like, Clom. I'm like, that is actually funny. Like, that is a legit laugh. And I quite enjoyed that little moment. Um, I think the rest of the story is pretty shit still, to be honest. For me, I just don't find it believable that this group of people would just let this random guy into the group like that so quickly and just trust him like so quickly. Like, unless there's some time gaps in the story, which I'm going to assume there are some time gaps.
Yeah, I think it heavily implies there are.
Yeah, but it's not clear, and again, it comes down to the editing. Like, the editing just isn't great, but I still don't find it believable that they would just be working for him like that. So whenever there was like a scene, like, you know, when like the bit where they're sitting there and they're all at their desks and it's like a classroom,
Yeah.
I'm like, why is this a thing? Like, you know, it's weird. As much as I liked these moments as well, all the moments between Elton and Jackie, it's so cringe. Like, I mean, I liked these moments, but it's so cringe because just normal people don't act that way at
Yeah, but
all.
that's Jackie the whole way through.
Yeah, but I mean, like, even then,
Jackie's
like,
very. Just remember when Jackie met the doctor.
yeah.
She immediately flirts with him.
No, but I mean, like, it's not so much the flirting, it's more the dialogue, I think. I think the dialogue is just what gets me, like, just normal people don't talk like that. And yeah, I don't know, it's just the little things. Like, honestly, I will be honest with you right now, and I'm going on record saying this, and I know I said something different in the text message with you, but I'm gonna say it's still bad, but I at least got some laughs out of it this time.
Fair enough.
It's still bad though, and I'm never gonna say otherwise. Because I know when I messaged you, I think when I actually messaged you, it was in the first part of the episode when I said I messaged you saying, what did I say? I said it's even worse than I remember. That was literally within the first 5 minutes of the episode, and do you know why? Because I paused that thing and walked away 4 times in the first 5 minutes, and the reason
Jesus.
why I did that was because of just dumb shit that I was seeing and really dumb editing choices. And I was just like, I can't do this. And I kept pausing it and walking away. Okay, it wasn't 5 minutes. It was about 5-10 minutes, like the first little part of the episode. And I think that's like the worst part. Like, because at least the end of it's ridiculous and it's kind of funny. The first part is just shit. Like, it's just a lot of exposition, and I get it because these are characters we don't know, but it's just like, okay, whatever. I do like the idea of seeing all the events from the previous 2 seasons from a different perspective, though. I thought that's like I said, like, there's little ideas that I like. It's just, yeah, you know. Anyway, whatever. Love and Monsters, still shit.
We'll get back to this in like a year or two.
When I finish my rewatch, I'm at the end of season 2 now, so I'm actually going to be able to start taking notes soon, which is pretty exciting. But yeah, other than that, that's all I've really been doing. Just watching a bunch of YouTube crap and playing Overwatch. That's really it. But I'll tell you what I have been doing. Actually, you know what? I just realized that's a really bad segue because we're talking about something else beforehand. But
It's like, is this a segue?
it was going to be a segue, and then I kind of fucked it up. Anyway, look, I could edit it out. I'm not going to, but yeah. So Star Wars Squadrons.
Yes.
That was the thing that was revealed. Oh, actually, I have a segue. Do you know what else I've been doing? Playing a bit of Battlefront 2. Boom. Segue.
Yep. Then are we editing the other part out now, or is
No.
this all just
No.
one flow?
No, not editing it. This is it.
Okay. Yep. Sorry. Yeah. No. Forget all that. Battlefront 2. You've been playing that, huh?
Yeah, I've been playing a bit of Battlefront 2, and, you know, it's not my most favourite mode in Battlefront 2, but the mode I quite like is Starfighter Assault, right?
I've not played it at all.
Yeah, so Starfighter Assault is exactly how it sounds. It's Starfighter
Starfighter
Assault. And it's developed that actual part of the game from what I believe was developed by Motive Studios, who have now made a full game called Star Wars Squadrons, which was leaked on some store. I don't know if it was Steam or something. Some store leaked it. And so now EA's released an official trailer. And again, at the time of recording, EA Play hasn't happened yet. So we're not going to see gameplay until then. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. Like it's
Yeah,
literally the Starfighter Assault mode just as a game. But I hope it's a bit more fleshed out than what Starfighter Assault is. But yeah, Star Wars Squadrons, you just watched the trailer. What do you think of it?
yeah. It looks cool.
Mm,
I can't really base much off it because, as we've already said, it's not gameplay. It was just a big cinematic.
mm.
But I did like the cinematic. I especially like that shot of the Star Destroyer coming up from below the clouds.
Oh, it looks good, doesn't it? That game, like, I'd say one thing, like, it looks good. Like, that Frostbite engine looks very nice.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
If Dice gave us anything good in the past 10 years, it has
yeah.
been Frostbite.
Yeah. But the interesting about this game is developed entirely by Motive Studios. So this is actually Motive Studios' first game.
God.
Um, so yeah, so they like I said, they kind of helped out a bit on Battlefront 2 and whatnot with the Starfighter Assault mode and stuff. But this is their first like proper game as far as I'm aware. But yeah, so this is interesting. So this game, um, I mean, there's a lot you can take out of it from the trailer alone. Like the trailer shows a lot of what gives us a very good idea of what the gameplay is going to be like. But essentially, yeah, it's basically it's not quite. I don't feel we don't know a lot about the gameplay, but I don't feel like it's going to be like a full like. Like dog fighting simulator kind of thing. Like I think it's gonna have a bit more of an arcadey feel,
Yeah, it's sort of like the old
like the
what was
Starfighter games, like
the old either the Starfighter games or there was another one. I think it was Ghost Squadron or something Squadron.
Rogue Squadron.
Really? Rogue Squadron. That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think
I've got the only one I've got is Starfighter. I don't have Jedi Starfighter. It's one I always wanted to get and I just never got. But I do have Starfighter. And you fly one of those like Naboo ships. It's great. I love it. I love that design. Like, say what you will about the prequels, but those Naboo ships look fucking
oh,
sleek.
ship designs in Star Wars are just great in general. Except for I do have a minor issue with the Ghost because it looks way too clunky to me. But that's just me.
I think that's kind of the point, though.
Is it? Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
But yeah, anyway, so Star Wars Squadron's going to be a dogfighting game. It's going to have both a single player and multiplayer mode. I genuinely feel like the multiplayer is going to be the focus here. I honestly, it's don't think single player is going to be this big thing. But basically, what it's going to be is going to be 5v5 dogfights. So, comparing to say Battlefront 2, that's a bit of a downgrade, but I think there's going to be a lot more mechanics at play here and a lot more
Yeah.
stuff going on. So they're going to be 5v5 dogfights. Now I'm going to assume they're going to fill that out with bots as well. So I'm assuming there's going to be a lot more, like it's not just going to be 5 ships, 10 ships racing around just trying to shoot each other and blow each other up. Like I'm assuming there's going to be
Yeah,
bots.
there'll be like objectives and things like, for instance, in the trailer, even though it wasn't gameplay, the Star Destroyer, as I said,
Yeah,
like maybe you have to go for the enemy flagship and
yeah.
bomb the shit out of it with while still trying to.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
there's going to be multiple modes. So
yeah,
the
it's
two modes that
yeah.
we know about, or at least the two modes I think we know about so far, is so there's going to be Fleet Battles mode, which is essentially you're going to have to take out the opposing flagship. So there's going to be the
Oh, so
dogfights
that's
happening.
actually
Yeah,
announced. Cool.
yeah, yeah. So there's going to be fleet battles. So you'll have your Star Destroyer, you'll have your New Republic. I was about to say Rebel Alliance, but New Republic ship. It's the same fucking thing. The New Republic
Yeah,
and Rebel Alliance exactly the same.
took
But
what 5 years after the fucking.
yeah, so there's going to be that. So yeah, your fleet battle modes. It's very much like the old Battlefront 2 gameplay. Like, you remember the old Battlefront 2 from 2005?
Yeah,
You had like your
yeah,
space battles, but there were the two ships, and you could, in that game, you could board the ship and destroy it, or you could destroy it from the outside. It's essentially going to be that, but as a game mode. And the other
yeah.
mode is just dogfight modes, which is, I'm assuming, is just going to be kind of like a team deathmatch
Hitting them.
kind of
Yeah,
mode. Um, but yeah, so essentially it's 5v5. Now, the interesting thing about this is basically before each battle, you will be in the briefing room, right? So I'm assuming this probably won't be for dogfights, but probably for the fleet battle mode. So apparently there's like, I feel like there's gonna be, that's just to me that there's gonna be some form of strategy and involved in this game. It's not just gonna be fight the other thing and destroy the ship. There's probably going to be some kind of a strategy. So I'm assuming what the battle thing is you would probably plan your objectives and stuff, and then those would be the objectives that you actually play when you go into the mission. But that's interesting. So I can't wait to see a bit more on that at EA Play to see how that kind of works.
yeah.
But yeah, there will
What,
be
what,
a. Sorry, what was that?
what are your bets? I'll let you go for yours, and then I'll go
Oh,
mine.
I was going to continue just reading shit. So you just say your thoughts right now.
I was just gonna say, where you been? $40 game or $60 game? Using Australian prices as the
Yeah, so it is going to be a $40 game, American, so probably about $60 here in Australia, which, isn't still full price because Australian games are like $90. But the interesting thing about this is it's not been announced for next gen consoles. It's only been announced for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. So I'm assuming there will be a next gen version, but I guess there might not be releasing one anytime soon. I think maybe the focus is going to be on this, on the current gen consoles. But the
yeah,
cool thing about this is the entire game will be playable in VR on PS4
yes.
and PC, which is fucking cool. I don't know if you ever played that VR mission.
I did not from Battlefront.
Yeah, from Battlefront 1.
No, I did not. I've wanted to, but I need to reinstall the game.
Yeah, so I've played that, and it's very short, but it's a fun little mission. And you know what? I sold my VR because I just wasn't using it because there was nothing I really wanted to play on it. But with the whole Doctor Who games, and with this coming out, and there's a few other VR like things that I'd love to try. I might have to get a PlayStation VR. I don't know. It's
No,
not my
you're
priority to
cheap
get.
nowadays.
It's not my priority to get. I'm gonna actually just start saving for the PlayStation 5 since that's rumored to be fucking expensive. But I'm excited. Like, I mean, I'm not a big fan of these kind of games though, but I'm excited
No,
for this because it just seems like it has that more casual kind of approach to it, similar to Starfighter. And I wasn't a big fan of Starfighter either. Like, I played it as a kid, but it wasn't like, a big game that I was
yeah,
into.
I'm not one for dogfighter kind of games.
Yeah, but I think it'd be kind of fun to play around, especially with the VR. It's all from first person perspective too. So even if you're not playing in VR, it's still going to be very kind of like immersive, I guess, because you're going to be, in that cockpit. And just based on the trailers alone, the cockpit detail is fucking incredible. Like, I'm pretty excited to play that. But in terms of the single player story, apparently we don't know much about it, and I'm sure we'll get a bit more revealed tomorrow. We've seen a little bit of it in the trailer, but essentially, I'm assuming you'll be playing through both sides, both the Empire and the Rebels. It's not going to be a Battlefront 2 situation where like
What do
you're
you mean? You
playing.
played for both sides?
Yeah, but that was a load of horse shit. Like, I love Iden Versio. Okay, I think she's a great character, but fuck, did that little plot twist let me down so hard. Like, I just was like, I just want to be the bad guy. Just let me be the bad guy. Why can't I play a game where I'm the bad guy? So, but I don't think there's going to be any of that kind of like side switching. I think it's going to
I
be
reckon you're right.
Empire. You play a bit as the Empire, you play a bit of the Rebels, and then you kind of, the stories kind of goes back. And again, like I said, I don't think the single player campaign is going to be the big focus for this. I feel like it's
No.
going to be more of a glorified tutorial than anything else.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, which is why this is so cheap, I think, too, because it's not
Yeah.
like a big game. It's a bit of a smaller game, and I like that. I like this idea. You know, like again, like I was saying before, like not every game has to be huge. Not every game has to be big. I like these smaller experiences. You know, that's why I love Resident Evil 3 so much. You know,
Mm.
you finish it in a few hours and you're done. You know, like I just spent 2 days, 2 full days playing The Last of Us. You know, I don't want to do that again. Not play The Last of Us. I just don't want to spend 2 full days playing it. You know, um,
Yeah.
but yeah, you know, so I'm pretty keen. I'm just trying to see what other information there is. Oh yeah, so from what we so there'll be no microtransactions.
Can't wait to
Um,
see how they pull that one off.
yeah, everything's going to be earned in game, but it will feature rich cosmetic customization options. You will earn these cosmetics through gameplay exclusively, but you will unlock like new weapons, hulls, engines, cosmetic items that can be applied to the cockpit and the ship exterior, while you can also change the look of your fighter pilot. Squadrons will take players to never before seen parts of the Star Wars galaxy, including Yavin Prive and what's it that called? Galatan? Galatan? I'm assuming that's how that's pronounced. Um, it will also feature cross-play between PS4, Xbox One,
Yes.
PC, and VR. So you'll be able to, play with your friends no matter what. In case you didn't know,
Starting to become yeah, that's starting to become industry standard among the
yeah,
large companies. I appreciate that a lot.
yeah. So, more specifically, Squadrons will take place after the Battle of Endor when the rebels destroyed the Death Star 2. The story is told from multiple perspectives. Oh, there we go. There's that there. In some missions, you'll play as the pilot who flies in the New Republic's Vanguard Squadron. The other is a pilot in the Empire's Titan Squadron. Both are customizable. Um, EA is promising an authentic story that features a diverse cast of original characters. There will also be cameo appearances from familiar faces, and based on the trailer,
Cancel over bid. Let's go again.
yeah, based on the trailer, those are Wedge Antilles and Hero.
Hey, nice.
Because yeah, Wedge Antilles appears in the trailer as well. But yeah, so pre-orders. I'm not reading this. This is just sales shit. But yeah, it's all. Another interesting thing is this is not going to be just available on Origins. It's also going to be available on Steam as well, which is very
Yeah.
unlike EA.
Actually, they've been pushing a lot of their games back towards Steam lately. The first two Mass Effects, I'm not sure about Mass Effect 3, have been moved back over to Steam.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
don't know what's going on there.
I don't know. I think maybe because EA Origins is shit. That's probably
Yeah,
why. Also,
yeah.
everyone's favorite thing. It's also going to be released on the Epic Games Store as well. So
Right. About the story, can I just quickly say,
yeah.
I'm getting real tired of the post Return of the Jedi pre-sequel time period.
Uh, I mean, I guess compared to say, I mean, I'm just getting tired of the sequel, not the sequel period. I'm just getting tired of the original trilogy period in general. Um, but I mean, I mean, I can see where you're coming from there because the last game was also, and when I say the last game, I mean Battlefront 2 was also
Yeah,
very much that exact same time period. Um,
it just what like I want to know what happened because now that they've closed the door on the Skywalker saga, the Mandalorian right now is really the only thing filling in
yeah,
the closest gap,
yeah,
and that's not even trying to fill in the closest gap.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, to be honest, yeah. I mean, I'd like to maybe explore more of, I guess, that era, maybe a bit closer to um, the sequel trilogy.
mm,
Just mainly because when you really stop and think about it, the First Order's rise to power makes absolutely no sense
yeah,
whatsoever.
and that's exactly why I want them to do something
Yeah,
because
so
I want to know what led to the Force Awakens, but no one ever shows it.
yeah, I mean there is obviously some. books and stuff that kind of fill in the gaps. Like for example, Aftermath
Yeah,
is
the
a
Aftermath trilogy. Yeah.
yeah, is very good at like kind of setting up what that happens there. But I don't know. I'm not really too fussed on when the eras are set necessarily.
But
I just want
obviously, for a
give me
small
good
game like
stories.
Squadrons, it doesn't really matter because, as we've
Yeah.
both said already, it's mainly for the multiplayer.
Yeah, it's gonna be mainly multiplayer. I just hope there's gonna be some more interesting modes. I think that'll be kind of cool.
Yeah,
Not just the two modes in the single player campaign. I hope we get some more because Battlefront 2 is something that started out with like Battlefront 1 was very limited on its modes.
yes, it was.
Battlefront 2 had more modes in it, but over time they've added a lot more. Like I just logged into Battlefront 2 after the last update for the game, and the big modes now they've added a whole new co-op set of stuff as well. So there's
Yes,
all
I had
these
some good fun with that.
there's all these co-op battles that you play online with up to 4 other players, and then it just fills out the bots, and it's basically just these short battles between an AI team and you just have to capture the objective or whatnot. But what I love about that mode is because I'm shit at video games, I very rarely ever get to play the heroes in some of the other multiplayer modes.
Yeah.
Where in this mode here, because there's only 4 players on your team rather than like fucking 20 or whatever, it's a lot easier to get heroes.
Yeah.
And
Also, everyone gets a chance to be a different hero now. You can
it's
run a whole team of different
You
heroes
can
if
literally
everyone gets it.
it's 4 people, and you could all be because each era has about 4 different heroes and villains.
Yeah,
So you
I
could just
spent most of my time running around as Luke.
yeah, it's great. So like it's a lot of fun because the thing I like about this compared to the more single player, instant action arcade mode is this actually feels like I'm playing the game properly. Like the thing about
Yeah,
arcade mode is it's a bit of fun. It's get in, you kill some AI, whatever. But it doesn't feel like I'm really playing the game. Where when I play these co-op online game modes, I
you
genuinely
know,
feel like I'm actually like it's literally just a match of
yeah,
Battlefront just on a
you
slightly
know what
smaller
the
scale.
single player modes feel like? Now that I think about it,
Mm.
you know those games where they're still installing, so they give you a little playground to go play
Yeah,
around in?
yeah.
That's exactly what that feels like.
Yeah, so like I mean, and look, it's a bit of fun. Like I mean, I usually like to jump in and just practice with heroes and
Yeah,
stuff like that. But yeah, no, ever since the last update, these co-op missions have kind of where it's been at for me. It's been a lot of fun.
mm,
But now they have all 3 eras in the supremacy mode as well. Um,
yes,
and Supremacy has become like the main game mode for Battlefront 2. Like, you know how like in the first game it was like you had like Walker Assault and like all that, and like
yeah.
Walker Assault was the main. Yeah, in this game it's Supremacy, but
I
originally
like Supremacy, but it is way too time consuming.
yeah, like the thing about Supremacy is they originally only had the Clone Wars era as well. They didn't have the other eras until a lot more recently, and now they've got all 3 eras. So you can just
Mm,
play Supremacy, and it's such a good game mode. It's like one of those big game modes. You have this big open space for these
it's your classic Battlefield game
yeah,
mode.
you have these large scale battles, and it's essentially basically Supremacy is essentially the modern Battlefront equivalent to Conquest in the
Mm,
old Battlefront games. You've got the objectives you need to capture, and then except this one adds the added element of going up to the ship after you capture the points and trying to take down the enemy ship. And then that's a much more. It's kind of a contrast because that like ship battles are like when you're on the ship, it's a bit more closed quarters.
yeah, and they
Um,
have a more streamlined objective. You've
yeah,
got to
you just got to
all
destroy.
push towards that one objective,
Yeah,
and if the enemy team knows what they're doing, they'll have all bases covered, and
yeah.
it's a
The only
fun
thing I
game
don't
mode.
like is
It just
it's
take a
great
bit.
game mode, but like you said, it can be very time consuming sometimes.
Because if you lose,
You
if you
end up
win the
back
ground
on the
war and
ground.
then lose yeah, you end up back down there, and then it repeats the ship battle after that.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to do. But yeah, no, I've been enjoying playing Battlefront 2, and I'm pretty keen to see that Starfighter Assault because I used to play Starfighter Assault all the time in the first Battlefront game, but I'm not really a big fan of it in the second one for some reason. I just don't like it that much. So it'd be
Hmm.
interesting to see how Star Wars Squadrons plays out. But that is coming out very
A capture the
soon.
flag demo would be fun. I like capture the flag. I reckon it'd be fun in ships.
Yeah. But that's coming out very soon. It will be out on October
October?
2nd.
Hey.
So very close.
I'm
Um,
actually appreciating that a lot this year. I'm noticing a lot of games announced this year are actually coming out this year.
yeah.
It feels good to have that again.
Yeah. And also a lot of the games that have been delayed are still coming out this year. After the January February purge of all the titles that are coming out in the first half of the year being just pushed back, and this was before coronavirus as well. Just everything was getting pushed back. It was great. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff coming out the rest of the year.
Yeah,
So I'm pretty excited for this one. I might get it and have a little go. Why not?
yeah,
Um,
it looks. I'll base it off gameplay, but the idea sounds fun.
yeah. But like I said, there is no announcement for the PS5 or Xbox Series X yet.
I reckon it's gonna be like Battlefront. I think they're gonna do I reckon it's gonna get a sequel somehow.
But like, yeah, I think there'll be a release. I think there will be a release. It might not be now. And that's another thing. I really want to know if the PlayStation VR headset will work with the PlayStation
It
5.
will, apparently,
Yeah,
from what I read.
good. Because I'm not buying another VR headset for a different console. Get fucked, PlayStation. Anyway, speaking of PlayStation, that was a
They're
terrible
gonna
segue telling them to get fucked. Do you know what
yeah,
they
but
should?
PlayStation. By the way, PlayStation.
PlayStation.
uh,
But yeah, they recently had their reveal event. There was a live stream because we don't have E3 this year for obvious reasons. So everyone's doing their own little thing.
it's kind of annoying.
They're just doing what EA has been doing for years because EA thinks they're better than everyone else. But yeah, they did their own live stream. They revealed the PlayStation 5 and a fuck ton of games. Most of those games aren't launch titles, so that's a bit annoying, but it really, like, just straight off the bat, I'm just going to say this right now, it really seems like PlayStation 5 is not releasing with actually much. There's like a little bit, but not a lot, but we'll talk about
It's
that in
gonna
a
be
sec.
carryover games.
Yeah, it's mostly going to be that, but also, like, yeah, everything's coming out next year, but that's fine. That's fine. It is what it is, you know? But let's just get let's get the elephant in the room out of the way first. Let's talk about the console.
I love the console, okay?
She looks
My
good.
only problem with the console was can it lay horizontally? And
Yeah,
they have apparently shown, I saw the screenshot of it. They can. I've got no problem with it anymore.
yeah.
It's flourished. It looks like what I think a game console should be, not like a glorified DVD player.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like the design. It's very kind of like futuristic, and especially when you compare it to the Xbox One. Oh, not Xbox One, Xbox X, whatever the fuck that thing's called.
Xbox Series X,
That just looks
the
like
XSX.
it's literally a big fuck off black box. And at least
Yeah,
this is a bit more inspired. I love that it's got the little LEDs on it. Um, it is going to be the biggest PlayStation console.
yeah,
It's only just as there's been comparisons online, but it's only just a little bit bigger, a little bit thicker than the original PlayStation 3.
wow.
So she's quite big, this one. She's quite thick.
The original PS3 was it was a thick boy.
It
It was
was a thick boy, and this is going to be even slightly thicker.
oh,
But
she,
I'm assuming there'll be a slimmer version down the line or something.
yeah,
Obviously, the main thing comes down to the hardware's a lot bigger because it has a lot more power, and with
and
more
needs more
power
RAM.
requires more cooling. So
Yeah,
there's that. But yeah, no, it looks great. It's got that very future. Like, I mean, obviously the memes are going around online that it looks
it looks like a
like
modem.
a modem router. Yeah,
I love
it
this.
it does. I get it, but also
Yeah,
like it looks cool.
someone posted a video, an old like I think it's a Korean PlayStation 4 Pro advertisement,
Yeah,
and it's like an animated video of this husband gets someone to come put a PlayStation Pro in his room while dressed up as like a modem installer,
yeah.
and his wife is like, "That looks like a game console." He's like, "Oh no, no, it's modem." It's every time someone almost says PlayStation, like someone's like, "Oh, is that PS?" And the wife's like, "What is PS?" Like a
Yeah,
game console. And he's like, "Oh no, no, it's flash your speed."
yeah. I
It's a great ad, and I just keep thinking of it now that the modem jokes are running around.
Yeah. Bwendel sent me a good one. It was the PlayStation compared to the Xbox, and the PlayStation was a white Lamborghini, and the Xbox was just a big fucking black van. I was like, that's pretty funny. But yeah, so I mean, it looks cool. I do want to kind of see. I really hope it comes just all black. Um, and the
I
reason
re-
why, because like I
well,
like the white design, but white's just an annoying color to deal with in general. Like
it
my
can get dirty faster, and
yeah.
that's irritating on its own.
Well, my oh fuck, there goes my mic. Fuck. Not gonna edit that out. But my PlayStation 4 is white because I got because they released the white version of that console at the same time Destiny came out. And so they released the kind of Destiny console bundle, which was that white console with Destiny 1. So mine's that, and like I can tell you right now, just around that power button and around the eject button, it's just like yellow and brown. Like I've
Ah,
cleaned it, but like this, it's stained into the PlayStation
yep.
now, and it's just annoying. I hate the color white on things. Like so, I
I like
really
my white PlayStation controller, but that's a
yeah.
smaller, easy to handle thing.
Yeah, but like, I mean, I like the design. Like the white and black contrast is always looks cool, but I would rather just give me just a full black console because then I don't have to worry about that too much. But the interesting thing about the console is that it comes, and this is actually surprised because there was rumors of Xbox doing this, and then they just didn't. But it's the idea of a fully digital console, which has been kind of being kind of I guess where the industry is kind of pushing towards anyway. Um, I think that's a useless idea here in Australia. Like, there's just generally no point in
Our
having a
internet
digital only
cannot
console in
sustain
Australia.
that.
Yeah, it's not just that. Like, yeah, we just don't have the infrastructure for a completely digital gaming landscape. Our NBN is shit. Our NBN equivalents are shit. Like, I mean, and when I say NBN equivalents, I mean anything that wasn't the original NBN design.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, look, I'm not going to go on a rant, but
Let's not get into Australian
Australian internet
internet.
is garbage. So anyway, we just don't have the infrastructure for it, and to have a digital only edition, you need to be able to have a decent connection to download games quicker, to do everything. So,
Yeah.
if I was to get one, I will still get the disc because it will replace my PS4 as my just general all round everyday use machine. So
Yeah.
I play DVDs and Blu-rays and things, so I'll still need a disc. But also, there's
But
just something about having a physical copy. You know what I mean? Like,
it just
just
feels
some
so nice.
yeah, just having a physical copy of a game, have it sit on a shelf. I will admit I moved a lot more towards digital these days, and I
I've
spend
done it with a few games. Corona's majorly
yeah,
helped that because obviously you can't go out and buy your copy unless you do online shopping. So,
yeah,
but
but yeah, like
it's a
I moved a
nice
little bit,
choice.
but it depends on the game size. That's why I said I'm not downloading Last of Us 2 because I just looked at that
Mine's
file size and went, nah, I'm
pre-downloaded and
good.
ready to go.
I'm good. I don't need that. I'll just go and buy it. Well, I'm not going to talk about the power of it because they released those specs like a year ago, and like honestly, I don't care as long as it plays the games.
No, the,
Um,
the hot topic right now is what it looks like.
yeah. But then you've got the DualSense controller as well, which isn't a new thing they
I
released.
love the DualSense controller.
It looks good. It looks good. Again, I hope it comes in an all black version.
I actually prefer it with its contrast.
Yeah.
More so, I can see everyone's opinion on the console being all black, and I can agree there sometimes. But I actually like the controller the way it is.
Yeah, I think for me it's just because I had a white PS4 controller and that thing was just a nightmare to deal with.
I
Um,
love my white PS4
yeah, I love
controller.
it too. I still have it, but I was just like, I can't use this all the time because it just gets us. That's why I ended up buying a black one just so I could use that, and I just keep the little white one for if I have guests or whatever. Um, yeah, there's that. There's going to be the headset that comes with it is a such. Well, I don't know if that comes with it. It might be a separate item. I don't know,
I
but
think it's a separate item.
yeah, but it's such an upgrade from the PlayStation 4. You know, like you've got that headset. It's got 3D audio, which just sounds cool.
3D
uh,
audio is always great.
yeah, so there's that. What else did they have? They had the charging station and all that kind of stuff. But
Charging station. There was
oh,
one
there's a
more. There's
media
the
remote.
camera.
A media remote. There's the camera and there's also a media remote as well.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Like, there's a lot of good stuff there, but I'm really excited for this console. It looks great, and I definitely can't wait to
I
have it.
my favorite feature isn't even tied to the console. It's tied to the controller.
Yeah,
I love the adaptive triggers.
yeah,
The idea that when you pull back a bowstring in a game, the controller will tighten the triggers to simulate that.
mm.
Beautiful. I think that's a great feature.
There's that. Yeah, it's definitely a pretty nice, sleek controller and design. So I'm
Yeah.
pretty keen. But there's not much more to really say about it. I
No.
do know that it will be the console itself. They haven't shown off the menus or anything like that. We'll probably see that a bit later. But the console itself will be backwards compatible with PlayStation 4 games,
Yes.
but will not be backwards compatible with PS3 or earlier.
It's really good.
So it's basically going to be the case of you can play your PS, which is actually a step up from the PS4 because the PS4 just couldn't play fucking anything unless it was digital, which is
Yeah,
frustrating. Um,
the PS2 emulations are frustrating in their own right.
yeah,
The start button isn't even the fucking start button. You have to use the touchpad to press start.
yeah, and then the PS3 played PS1 but didn't play PS2, so
Wait, what?
no, it didn't play PS2 games. I
No,
think the
the
original
original
PlayStation
did.
2, the original PlayStation 3 did, but not after that.
Wait, does the later model play PlayStation 1 games?
Yeah, plays PlayStation 1.
You fucking serious?
Yeah, I play PS1 games on the PS3 all the time.
My PS3 Slim can play a PS1 game.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, and it's got built-in internal memory cards as well. So you just make a new memory card and you can save your games on that.
I was talking about disc or download.
Disc.
You better not be lying to
No,
me.
I literally played Tomb Raider games on it.
You better not be messing with me.
No, I'm serious. Like when I did my Tomb Raider's retrospective years ago, I was like, I can't. When I wrote that article for the magazine, I was like, I can't be bothered pulling out my PS1 for this, so I just put it in my PS3 and played it on the PS3.
Alright, I will update people next recording session on whether I was disappointed or not.
Yeah. It's cool, but yeah, you've got the built-in internal memory card setting. So when you go to your game kind of tab on the PS3, I think if you scroll up, there should be
Yeah,
something that says in new memory card. So when you click on that, you can create a new internal memory card, and that's
yeah,
where
it does
your
stuff for download games as well,
yeah, yeah,
which is pretty
yeah.
handy.
I think you have to make it. I think you have to format that specifically for PS1 games, though. So you might have to make a separate one for PlayStation 1 games. But yeah, look into it because it's cool. You can't play PS2 on it though, for some reason. But anyway, yeah. So it's going to be backwards compatible, so you can play PS4
And
games.
stuff.
Um,
It's still catching a bit up to Xbox in that regard, but you know what? It's a step in the right direction. Plus,
yeah,
I can't really blame them because the PS2 to PS3 to PS4, the infrastructure changes on all three of those
yeah.
consoles are kind of mental.
Well, they did say backwards compatibility would just make it more expensive.
Yeah.
Make the console more expensive, apparently. So, look, I don't know what it goes into making a console, alright? I'm just not going to argue with it. I'm just going to be like, okay, whatever, you know? But, let's talk about the games.
Yeah, we
We got
had
some
quite a
games.
few.
We got some games. So, just to keep this brief, because we got to move on to Last of Us, we'll just talk about a few of them. But I've got a list here of the games. So I'm just going to read them out. It's all in order of their reveals. So we had, first off, the PlayStation show started out really weak, in my opinion, with the Grand Theft Auto trailer that wasn't even PlayStation 5 footage. It was PS4
And
footage.
PS3. There was PS3 footage in there.
Yeah, and I just think that's such a terrible way to start your show.
It is,
I
and I
don't.
think it's terrible for Rockstar too, because Red Dead Redemption 2 deserves a fucking re-release more than
Yeah.
GTA. It does.
God, GTA 5 is going to become the new Skyrim. You watch. I can't wait for Skyrim to get re-released on the
Oh,
PlayStation
it will.
5.
Like I said, adaptive triggers. You need to
Fuck
update the
Skyrim.
game to revive for that.
Fuck that game. I fucking hate that game so much. Like
I love it, but I hate
it's
the
a good
method
game,
behind
but I just let it die. It's done. It's finished. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So anyway, GTA 5 is coming out 2021 on the PlayStation
it.
5.
With that, there is something interesting I know that probably will just be them going, oh, it's just technical stuff. They said expanded and enhanced. I'm hoping for some form of DLC. I won't get it, but I hope.
Yeah, expanded's weird. Like that's such a weird term. Like cuz expanded does imply some form of extra content, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
So I guarantee you it'll be just GTA Online content.
which is odd because there also another note on that, since while we're on the subject, GTA Online on PS5 is getting a separate release and will
Yeah,
become its own game, and it's free for the first 3 months. That just became a major sales rep for Rockstar, but
yeah,
yeah. So I'm interested to see where they're pushing GTA Online because I mean that's still evolving. I'm okay with that.
yeah. I the fact that they're also giving GTA players free money
A
every
million
month
dollars every month if
until
direct
the release
on
in
GTA Online.
January, I think it was.
No, no,
Uh
it's the release of GTA Online, which
no,
is
it said until
hold up. I have got
I'm pretty
the
sure
thing here. Let me get that.
it said until the release of GTA 5.
Okay, wait, wait. Hold up, Rockstar. I've got the email.
You got the email. Okay. He's got an email, boys.
I got this. Okay. All right, here we go. Additionally, um, yeah. Additionally, all PlayStation Plus members on PlayStation 4 will get $1 million deposited into their main bank account each month they play GTA Online until the launch of GTA Online on PS5. Up top,
Okay.
it says GTA Online coming in the second half of 2021. So that's at least 12 mil if you like money in GTA that you can't hack in. So,
Sweet. I'm just going to log into GTA and then just close the game once a month, every month.
that's what I've been doing.
That's going to be great. I can't wait for. I love getting free money in that game because everything's so ridiculously expensive. But I guarantee you they're doing that because if this expanded part is going to be content for the PS5. So let's say this is like let's say they're moving GTA Online development from PlayStation 4 to PS5. So then like any future expansions or whatever they do will be PS5 only, and you won't get it on the current gen consoles. Just like you don't get support on PS3 anymore.
Yeah,
I feel like that's what that means because like I highly doubt Rockstar's been working on
yeah,
DLC for the game. Like I highly doubt they're gonna add more to the single player. So I think it's gonna be that. So I reckon that shit, whatever that is gonna be expensive as fuck. So they're just giving away free money because everything in GTA Online
yeah.
is so expensive. It's ridiculous. But yeah, so that's coming out. Great, cool. I'm not going to buy it.
I
Um,
sadly will.
Look,
Don't judge me.
if GTA 5 is like not GTA, if GTA Online is going to be like you said, is separate and free, then I'll just get that. Like I don't
Yeah,
need to buy GTA 5 again. I haven't even played GTA 5 on the PS4 yet. I just played enough to be able to access GTA Online, and I haven't touched the campaign since, and I'm never going to. So, like I
really,
mean,
yeah.
yeah, I'm not bothering to buy it, but I will get GTA Online. That'll be cool. But then after that, we got our first. We're gonna start going through the actual PS5
Yeah,
games, um, and we got what is essentially gonna be, I guess, one of the only few launch titles for the PlayStation 5, which is Spider-Man Miles Morales. Which that was a cool little reveal.
yeah, it was.
Like this is now there was a lot of confusion I remember or surrounding this to whether it was DLC or whether it was a separate thing. Which Insomniac later came out not long after the live stream and confirmed that it will be its own standalone separate release.
Yeah.
So it's
The
more of
closest example for it is. Lost
Lost
Legacy
Legacy.
for
Yeah.
Uncharted.
Except the difference between that and this is Lost Legacy started as DLC and then became too big and became its own separate game, where this is being released as a separate thing from the start.
Yeah,
I'm assuming it will be bundled together with a Spider-Man PS5 release, I'm assuming. So you could probably get that way, but yeah, it will be its own separate thing, which is cool. It's gonna be like, and I think the turnaround time for this has been pretty quick, so I think this is just gonna be, because it's kind of like a smaller title and more of a spin-off title. I think it's just gonna be the same New York that we had previously,
yeah.
exactly
It's
the
got
same map.
snow and stuff.
Yeah, it's
But
just
that's
bringing
about
the assets from one console to another and probably improving the graphics and stuff. But it's gonna be interesting playing Spider-Man. So the important thing to note here is, yeah, this isn't a sequel. It's a spin-off game.
I feel
So
like this is to get everyone used to Miles because he might be playable in the second game.
yeah. So usually with spin-off games, the campaign's going to be shorter. So the campaign will definitely be a shorter experience than what Spider-Man was. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. I don't actually like Spider-Man that much. I think it's a good game. I just never really got into it. I don't know why.
That's
Like, I enjoyed the web swinging and I enjoyed the combat and stuff, but I know the Spider-Man story is one of the best ones, but I just genuinely, at the time I was playing it, I just didn't care. I was like, whatever, So I might go back and play it at some point. It's been on
I'm
my list
sure.
to go back to. I don't think it's a bad game by any means. I think it's a great game. But I don't know. It just never really. I never got into it for some reason. So I might go back and play it. But that's cool. So that's going to be coming out late, holiday 2020. So no actual release date yet, but it'll be a launch title for the PlayStation 5 for sure. Because there's no launch date. There's no launch date for the PlayStation 5
No,
yet, is there? No, we just
no.
know roughly when it's coming out. I think it's September, October, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. It's just in time for Christmas
Yeah,
for
yeah.
all that good earned money.
Yeah, so that'll be a launch title. Gran Turismo 7 was the next thing up. It's another Gran Turismo game. It's another
I've only
racing
ever
game.
played Sport.
Yeah. Oh, that's the worst one to play.
I'm not a Gran Turismo fan, so I
Gran
got it.
Turismo is
Yeah,
great. Like, it's one of the best racing games out there. But what I mainly want to talk about is just how fucking good it looks.
it does look really nice.
Racing games always look really nice. I don't know what it is about racing games, but they just look great.
I think that
Um,
the thing that's probably existing on PS4 that I never pay attention to, that I paid attention to in that trailer, is when it's going through the tunnel, I think it was.
yeah.
And you know how racing games love to have those tunnels where there's light coming
Yeah, so
in
you get
from,
those
like,
reflective surfaces and shit.
yeah, and seeing the shadow pass through the car
Yeah,
like a normal shadow
yeah.
looks really nice.
Pretty good, isn't it? It looks really good. I
Ray
haven't
tracing is awesome.
Yeah, I haven't played the last few GT games. The last one I played was GT5 on the PS3. So I definitely, when I get a PS5, I'm definitely going to jump back on board with this one because I haven't played racing games in a very long time. I think the last one I played was Project Cars, and I got that for free because I got a review copy. So I definitely want to jump on board with this because I really enjoy the Gran Turismo games. They were like my childhood, like playing GT3 and Gran Turismo 4 on the PS2. Like, that was like, fun fact, the very first console I bought was the PS2. And this is the
Yep.
very first console I bought with my own money. I saved up for a very long time for this thing. And the two games I got with it were Gran Turismo 3, and I also got Ratchet and Clank 3.
Hey,
So
great
they were the
games.
very first games I owned, and I played a shit ton of Gran Turismo 3 back then, I can tell you that right now. But that also leads us nicely into our next game that was revealed, which was Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Very smooth there.
I know it was, right? That was one of my better ones.
Insomniac hitting it out of the park for the second time in
Yeah.
the in the fucking name of the video thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Reveal. Fuck.
We're
Um,
professional.
thank you. I'm very professional.
Yeah, Ratchet and Clank looks good. I was saying, like, the trailer looked really nice, but the gameplay was what really impressed me. There was just
Yeah.
so much shit going on the screen at
Oh,
once.
God damn, there
It was
was.
crazy. Like,
This had the same feel as. So, I have the same kind of story as you with GT3.
yeah,
Um, my very first. When my grandmother bought a Sony Bravia TV, she got a PlayStation 3 for free with it.
yeah,
And the very first game I ever bought for that was Ratchet and Clank Tools of Destruction. And
yeah,
I was amazed at the graphics on a fucking crate. It was amazing. And they did it again. The
yeah.
graphics in that game look beautiful,
Yeah,
but
definitely. It looks
so
great, and
much
this looks
better than
really
the
good.
last game.
But I
Right.
just love, like, in traditional Ratchet and Clank insane faction, we're just going, going from planet to planet. I don't know if it's like it's multiple universes, right?
But the looks of it, yeah.
Yeah, it just looks cool, and I like how the like riffs have been like it's just seamless. Like in the
Yeah.
gameplay,
Beauty
you're
from
like going
SSD.
through and you just go through it, and then you go straight into the next thing. Because I remember the old Ratchet and Clank games had those
Five
loading,
minutes of fucking
those like and
shit
just
on the
shit
screen.
flying along. Yeah. So that looks cool. I'm pretty excited for this. I think it's going to be fun. It might be the first Ratchet and Clank game I jump back into. Because I haven't
See,
played Ratchet
I
and Clank games since Ratchet Gladiator.
that was a good game.
I love it, and I wrote an article about it. So it's my favorite
Nice.
one. But yeah, I haven't
Um,
played him since then. So that's the PS2 days. So yeah, I might jump back on board with this.
I've yet to finish the last. I finished the movie one, but there was like the one in the proper series before that.
Yeah,
I haven't finished that yet, but now I'm going to
I haven't
because
even
I
watched the
fucking
movie. I should watch the movie.
I I did too.
But yeah, that's pretty cool. And Clank looks great. Clank
Clank
looks
does look
so
great.
good.
Maybe
Um,
we can get Secret Agent Clank 2 one day.
yeah, and that's it comes down to the ray tracing abilities of the PS5
Oh
as well.
yeah,
It looks
it's
great,
great.
and it's great because you play through the level, and like you can see all the reflections on the floor on certain surfaces as well. It looks really nice. I love it.
It was by far the like I wasn't expecting. I didn't know what I was expecting going into the reveal, and I was really hyped about Spider-Man, but
Yeah,
not on the same level that Ratchet and Clank because it is my childhood.
yeah.
Ratchet and
Um,
Clank 2 was my first PS2 game that I bought. I have a long-standing history of this series.
Yeah. The next game that was revealed was Project Athena, which is Square Enix's
It
new
looks
IP.
interesting.
Some kind of fantasy, whatever. It looks
It
great.
grows trees out of their
Um,
hands.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was Tomb Raider at first, just because
I
the
thought it
very
was Final
first,
Fantasy.
yeah, the very first part of that trailer was very like, ooh, this looks cool. But I was not expecting a Tomb Raider revealed. Yet I'm even disappointed that there wasn't a Tomb Raider game revealed. But that's okay. But yeah, Project Athena looks pretty good. I'm pretty excited. I definitely want to check that out. It looks very interesting. Um, but yeah,
But
that'll be exclusively for the PS5 as well. So that's so far that's yeah, PlayStation 5 exclusive. Not too bad. We got a couple of exclusives already going on here. The next game was in my opinion the best game,
straight.
Stray. Fucking amazing. I'm calling it now. This will be game of the year, and if it's not game of the year for any other outlets, it'll be my game of the year, and it'll.
Look, the only way it's not becoming Game of the Year is if someone releases Knack Free.
Yeah, it looks so cool. I love just the idea of being able to play this as a cat,
I
and
know,
the
with a
cat
backpack.
is the cat is so cute. But I also really intrigued by the world. The world's pretty cool as
Yeah,
well. So there's not much is known about that game. We know it's going to be third person, um, and yeah, that's really about it. But apparently, this game started out as a tech demo and then just kind of evolved from there. Apparently, this game has been in development in some form or another for fucking years. It started out as this like weird tech demo, and then yeah, kind of just became its own thing.
I hope it pays off because it looks beautiful again,
Yeah,
like almost all the games on this list except GTA 5.
yeah. The next game is an
That's
interesting one, Returnal. So that's it's kind of like it's very Mass Effect-y in terms of its gameplay by the looks of it.
Mm.
But it's basically, yeah, this
I
character,
think,
girl, woman, person crash lands on this planet, and
and then
basically,
Groundhog Days it.
yeah, exactly. It's just basically this game where time is repeating itself. But it's
Is
going to be
it?
interesting to see if it, because I feel like the game's just going to, it's going to be a very linear game
Yeah.
experience, right? But it's just like you just go through each cycle. But
I
it's
could be
interesting.
wrong, but I
Yeah.
think that is the game that was written by the writer of Dead Space,
Right. Yeah.
which means it looks like it's probably going to lead into some sort of spooky territory.
Yeah. I'm pretty keen. I think it'd be fun to play.
Yeah,
So I like the look of that.
I like time loops as a concept.
Then we got Sackboy, A Big Adventure, which is basically just another Little Big Planet game.
Except without the creativity, which makes
Yeah.
me wonder why.
I genuinely just don't care. So,
Yeah, right there with you.
moving on. What's this one? Destruction All Stars.
Oh yeah,
That was that.
it's Rocket League except worse.
Yeah, yeah, I don't care. Whatever. Um, this is a cool one though. Kena Bridge of Spirits. This actually grabbed my attention.
At first, I was like, I don't really care. And then, like, halfway through, when it started showing, like, her with the bow and things, I was like, oh, this actually looks pretty neat. It's, like, got that feel of, like, grown up, but also cartoony. That
Yeah,
nice blend that a kid
reminded
could
me
probably watch in front
reminded
of
me
them.
of a Pixar film.
Yes!
Yeah.
That's a good way to describe it.
Yeah, exactly. That was cool. That's just another, third person action adventure game. So, yeah, that could be interesting. There's currently no release date on that, but it'll be 2021, I'm assuming.
Hmm.
Unless
Next
it's
up
delayed.
is
You watch half of these games get delayed, I guarantee it.
Corona 20. Google. I'll let you Google it.
The next game was Oddworld Soulstorm. I genuinely
You just
don't
skipped one.
I don't remember this at all. But whatever. Ghostwire Tokyo. This is interesting. This is first person. We've known this game's been coming for a while. But yeah, this is all first person, which is interesting.
Ghostwire is complete. Okay, so like I said to you before we started, Ghostwire Tokyo is made by the same company that I believe made The Evil Within.
Yeah.
So I was very much expecting survival horror. What we seem to be getting is first person superhero in Tokyo. I thought it was going to be a survival horror game like Evil Within, but it seems to be more a superhero in Tokyo kind of deal.
Yeah.
It looks cool.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool. I haven't been following this game, so I genuinely haven't known nothing about it apart from the
I
name.
only know from the E3 release last year.
Yeah, I didn't even remember E3 last year, so that's great. But yeah, that's exciting. So then next we had Jett, The Far Shore.
I looked away when that game was announced, so I didn't really know what was going on when I came back.
Yeah, to
Uh,
be honest, all I remember from that was space.
I
That's
just
it.
remember ship going across water or something.
Yeah. We have Godfall next. I actually,
Fantasy Borderlands.
yeah. I honestly don't really care. um, the next game after that was Solar Ash. Which one was Solar Ash?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I can't remember what that was.
Too many.
Let's just look. You know what? We're professional. Let's just skip to Hitman 3.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
funny.
the reboot Hitman series. I
Yeah,
love the original Hitman series.
I haven't played any of them. The only thing I did play was the demo, which I think was for Hitman 2. Maybe it was for the first game. I can't remember, but I played the demo and that was pretty fucking good. So, I might jump on board with these new games eventually.
Yeah, they're all really mechanically great.
Yeah, and there's a lot of replay value in them.
Yes, there is.
So I think it'd be definitely cool to jump on board. So yeah, the Hitman's just another Hitman game, but everyone seems to be
One
pretty
is
keen,
kicking off
and
the trilogy, so I'm very much looking forward to that.
yeah, so that's actually coming pretty soon too. It's coming in January 2021. By the way, all of these games are as far as I'm aware, there's been no announcement on whether they'll be PS4 or like current gen releases. But I'm assuming like most new console generations for the first year or so, a lot of the games that are coming out will have downgraded PS4 versions. But we'll see what happens with that. The next one was Astro's Playroom. Not much to
I
say about that.
Yeah, if you like Astrobot on PSVR or on PlayStation 4, you're probably gonna enjoy that.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing.
I never
Little Devil Inside. What?
That looked weird.
Yeah.
I can't remember the rest of the trailer. I just remember I felt weird watching it.
NBA.
Right, MPA. My favorite reveal of that entire show purely because of the build up to it.
Yeah.
The fucking basketball player going, "You're not gonna believe what you see," and then it was a really shitty render with terrible sweat.
He was a very sweaty boy.
He was, and it wasn't even good.
It was like me after I did my workout yesterday. It was a mix of cardio and resistance, and I can tell you right now, it was like I had a shower afterwards. I can tell you that. Whoa.
It's like cleaning a dodgem car track.
Yeah, exactly. The next one's the weirdest one.
Oh,
Fucking Bugsnax.
I had no idea what I was watching that.
It's the weirdest thing. So there's like these little creatures are all like snacks, and then
You eat them,
yeah,
and
you
then
eat them, and then you
you
start turning into them.
yeah, like
What is going on?
it's made by the people who made Octodad, so
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, the next game that was revealed was Demon Souls, just a remake of Demon Souls, which looks pretty good.
The,
There's not much to say about it. It's a remake of Demon
so
Souls. Yeah. The next game was Deathloop, which is this first-person shooter type thing where you're like an assassin and you're kind of like in this time loop and you got to kill other assassins. It looks kind of cool. I don't know what you think of that one.
it was one of my highlights of E3 last year, so I've been waiting
Yeah,
for news on that, so I'm excited.
looks pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, this is the first time I'm seeing anything from it. I don't remember anything from E3 last year on it, so that's pretty cool. We'll come back to Resident Evil in a sec, but we got Pragmata, which is this. I honestly don't really remember it that much.
Little girl, New York City, Death Stranding outfit. There we go.
Oh, is that the one that had like there was like the robot
Yeah.
cat hologram cat thing?
Yep.
Okay, I remember that one. I know what we're talking about. But the big games were kind of like the last couple that they showed.
Yeah.
So we have the trailer for Resident Evil 8 Village and Horizon 2 Forbidden West. Resident Evil 8 looks pretty good. That trailer looked awesome, not gonna lie.
I think we'll probably go further into that later, like not on this.
Oh yeah, definitely later on down the line when there's more to talk about. But it looks pretty good.
When
Like the
gameplay
Resident
trailer
Evil.
drops or something.
Yeah, it looks pretty good though. I like the kind of like I already had it spoiled for me. I knew it was a Resident Evil 8 trailer, but I mean, imagine watching that at the time. I mean, I guess
I did, and I pretty much knew what was going on about 5 seconds in. I was like, wait,
yeah,
is this?
it's got some. Yeah, it's very Resident Evil vibes, and like even watching it, I was like, yeah, this looks like Resident Evil. But I do like how the reveal was done. It was pretty cool. It was kind of similar to the Resident Evil 3 reveal trailer when that was at the Sony thingy last year, when that was
Yes.
revealed as a look at the single player campaign or whatever for Project Resistance, and then as it plays, it reveals it's Resident Evil 3. I thought that was pretty cool. And this is very similar. Like, it doesn't come up with Resident Evil. And, like, even looking at the trailer, it doesn't, like, yeah, there's Resident Evil vibes, but it could very well be
Very
literally anything.
different. You got werewolves, you got witches, you got vampires. You've got like a return to the gothic setting of Resident Evil 4. It
Yeah.
it's kind of way out there, but still within the confines of the series. It looks
Yeah.
good.
But it was cool. I love the reveal. You know, the name comes up and it says Village. and you're like, oh, okay, cool. And then that pops away, and you see the Roman numeral 8, and you're like, oh, yeah, here we go, Resident Evil 8. I thought that was cool. I like that they put the 8 into the
Yeah,
village.
that's what they did for 7 with
Yeah.
the actual name Resident Evil.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool.
I'm
I wonder what name they're going to think of for Resident Evil
I've
9.
seen Phoenix and Helix dropped around so far.
They're going to have to start getting really creative with their names to try and fit the Roman numerals in. But yeah, no, that was cool. So I'm excited for that. It looks really awesome.
It
And again, I haven't played Resident Evil 7 yet, but that's on my list to play. So I'm definitely 100% going to play 7 before this comes out. I'm
mm,
looking forward to kind of checking this out. But the end of the trailer, man, my big boy Chris Redfield, he's back.
he's a beefy boy again.
He's a thick boy. He's so thick. He's I think half of that is also the big fuck off trench coat he's wearing as well.
I've seen the
Like
tweet
that
that
thing's
ever since the mansion incident from Resident Evil 1, he's slowly been turning into a tyrant. All he needs is a fedora and he'll be Mr. X.
mm. No, that's cool. But I think because I have seen, like, I haven't obviously played 7, but I have seen the redesign for Chris Redfield in
Yeah.
7, and yeah, look, I'm not gonna lie, it looks terrible. So I'm glad they've kind of just moved away from that redesign and gone back to kind of how he used to look. But yeah, he's a big boy. But it's gonna be interesting to see how his story, I guess, kind of plays into, because the start of the trailer starts with his story comes to a close. So, I mean, is that referring to Chris?
Ethan,
Is it referring to Ethan? It could be very interesting. And I like that Chris actually looks older too. Like,
yeah,
he actually
it's
looks his
one of the things I
age.
really like about the Resident Evil games is they are running in real time, which is nice.
Hmm.
And
So it's nice to see a bit of an older looking
yeah,
Chris. Because I will say the Resident Evil 7, he didn't really look that old, did
no,
he?
he looked
Like,
like late 30s or early 40s.
yeah, but it's cool. I'm interested to see how this plays out.
Likewise.
So I mean, there'll be more to talk about. We haven't seen really much at all. We've seen a very brief snippet of gameplay because the developers did their own like little video thing,
Yes,
and there was
with
a
some
brief little clip
inventory
of
screen and stuff.
yeah, and Ethan was walking into the mansion in one of the
Looks
shots as
really
well,
beautiful.
which looks great. Yeah, I'd be interested to see how they incorporate the. I mean, it's probably just gonna be Umbrella experiments and some other different
Yeah,
virus or some bullshit, but
it was
it's gonna be
noted that
cool.
there was an Umbrella icon there when Umbrella haven't been the enemies for 4
Yeah,
games now.
yeah.
But
There's a lot. There's gonna be interesting, but yeah. There's a lot of Resident Evil YouTubers out there who have broken down this trailer in far much more detail, who actually know what they're talking
we're
about,
just
and
passing fanboys who have talked about this for the past however many
yeah.
episodes.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it's really cool. So I'm looking forward to
Yeah,
that.
and we will
There's a lot going on there
back at you with it later down the line, like we said.
when we see more. But the big one, and of course, we all knew this was coming. We all knew a Horizon reveal was coming. But they saved it for the end. The big game, because this is definitely their biggest IP easily at the moment.
Mm,
And
especially
yeah,
now
so the
with
trailer
being
dropped for
called the thing.
Horizon. Yeah, and the trailer dropped for Horizon 2 Forbidden West.
Fun
Fuck,
fact
that looks
about
so good.
that trailer, I liked it so
It
much I bought the first game.
it's oh, you haven't played it yet.
I never wanted to play Horizon. It never seemed like my thing, and having played through it, I still agree that back in 2017 I probably wouldn't have cared for it. But I'm
Yeah.
enjoying it. It's a good game, and I am very much looking forward to.
It is a very good game. And what's funny is I was actually saying, how I said last episode or the episode before or whenever it was that I'm not really big on these open world games
Yeah.
anymore. Horizon Zero Dawn was actually, besides playing through The Witcher 3, Horizon Zero Dawn was the last big open world game I played. I just haven't I barely played Spider-Man. I haven't
Mm,
played Red Dead at all. Those kind of things, and just because it's not interesting me. But I really, it's funny because I didn't engage with some aspects of the story of Horizon Zero Dawn, but I was just so immersed in that world. Like all the different kind of like cultural. The different cultures that are kind of going on in that
mm,
world, and then that mystery of what's Aloy's past and things like that. And I love the setting. I love the whole mix of, machine with
Yeah,
wildlife. It's such a good fucking game. And I honestly found the side missions a bit annoying in that game, like I do in every
that's
open
kind of what I
world.
heard from another friend of mine. Is a lot of them are just kind of fetch quests or not really
Yeah.
there. So, uh,
But there's a lot of great combat in that game, and that game really, like, that game, it can be difficult at times as well. Like,
yeah,
it's a very well balanced game. But I'm looking forward to the sequel. The sequel, it just looks so good. It's
it does,
continuing that
and
kind
it's
of.
got from what I understand, I'm still in the starting area of Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
Um, but the looks of it, it's got underwater gameplay, which I don't think was
Yeah.
a thing in the first one.
No, no, it wasn't. The thing I don't like about underwater gameplay is in most games it's shit.
It's really it's really limited. You can't do much
Yeah.
underwater.
I think the only game from recent memory that I think's done underwater really well is Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I think Shadow of the Tomb Raider underwater sections were really good. So I think Horizons will be good as well. I don't think they'll be crap or anything. But yeah, it's interesting. So this is going to be continuing the story from where Zero Dawn leaves off,
Which I will want anytime.
which I'm not going to spoil for you because you haven't played it. But it would be continuing Aloy's kind of journey. And yeah, and fuck, like, it's just so detailed. Like, Horizon Zero Dawn looked great in the first place. Like, it was actually
It is a
the.
very nice looking game. I will
Yeah.
fully agree there.
And you're only in the first area, so wait till that fucking map opens up.
Okay.
Holy shit. There's so many. It's just so good.
Oh,
It's such a. But this is the first game I really got into a photo modes.
I love
Because I never really
photo
cared for
modes.
photo. I never really cared for photo modes beforehand until this game, and I was like, this game is way too pretty to not be taking photos, and the sequel just looks even
It
better.
does.
And
With the
using that
lighting
PS5
technology,
hardware.
it just
Oh, oh,
beautiful.
honestly, like you know what? It is orgasmically beautiful.
It is. Ray
Um,
tracing is honestly one of the best things to happen to graphics in a while.
yeah. But and Aloy's model looks really good as well.
I'll
Like
admit,
really
playing Zero
detailed.
Dawn, Aloy's model kind of unnerves me a tiny bit because
Mm,
the bottom half of her face feels way wider than the top half, and sometimes it kind of gets me.
yeah. There's a lot of detail that goes into the Horizon world, though. In general, I'm
I like
actually watching
the
through
robot
a
designs,
big.
they're really nice.
Yeah, I'm watching through a big retrospective on it at the moment. And yeah, it's really really good, and I definitely wouldn't mind playing it again. I've been actually feeling that itch to replay it because I haven't played the DLC for it either, the Frozen Wilds. I haven't
Yep.
played that yet. So I've been definitely feeling the urge to replay it, but I just don't know if I'm gonna when I'm gonna get the time to
Yeah,
do it.
that's fair.
Um, but I'm really excited for Forbidden West. The settings, we're moving to a new location as
San
well, so we're going to
Francisco,
be,
by the looks of it,
yeah, so it's going to be
post-apoc
yeah,
San Fran.
yeah, it's going to be interesting. I can't wait
That
for it.
robot mammoth.
Yeah, yeah. One thing I love about that end bit of the trailer is you have this big fuck off robot mammoth, and then there's just Aloy with her bow and arrow there. But like if you played the first game, you understand that gameplay. So like that doesn't look ridiculous. It actually looks like, oh yeah, fucking Aloy's about to fuck this thing up with her bow and arrow. You know, it's really cool. But yeah, that's gonna be an awesome game. So that's one of the big ones I'm looking forward to next year in 2021. I can't wait to play that. That'll be fun. But yeah, that's it for the PlayStation 5. Any thoughts? Any
Um,
last thoughts?
no, I think pretty much what we've covered has done it. It looks all the most of the things revealed look great.
Yeah, and of course, there's a heap of other games coming out. I mean, they just recently announced that Destiny 2 will be coming out on the PlayStation 5. Um, you got the new Rainbow Six game,
Uh,
fucking whatever it's called. I had it up before.
hasn't been
The new Rain,
announced for PS5, I don't think, but AC Valhalla is
it will
most
be coming
obviously
out.
going to be on there. It's on the
Yeah,
Series X. It's going to be on the 5.
I still don't care about Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
I do.
I like this. I like the setting, but I just don't care about these modern Assassin's Creed games enough to want to play them.
Fully fair.
So, I don't like I liked Origins, but again, I didn't like Origins enough to want to finish it. So, and then I just didn't bother with Odyssey at all, and I still don't care for this new one. But I'd be actually interested to see. I do like I'll be interested to see how the map looks.
I hope it's not too big. Odyssey's
I hope
way
it's
too big.
I hope it's not. Yeah, but also the thing with Odyssey is Odyssey's maps just shit in general.
It is,
Like it's
yeah.
just it's copy and paste, and that's why it's so big. Although they have said that the new map is going to be the biggest. It's going to be bigger than Odyssey. But being that it is quite a large area, and being that it's Viking times, and there's going to be apparently a lot of it's going to be water. So comparing to, say, I think when you're looking and there's another podcast that was discussing this, but looking at the land mass, there's probably not going to be as much actual land mass compared to Odyssey. There's going to be a lot more, water, kind of like, Black Flag. It's like mostly water, and you're just kind of sailing around to all these different islands and different places. It's going to be probably going to be very similar to that, but they have confirmed that the actual full map size is bigger than Odyssey.
Okay, I'll wait to
but
see
it probably
how that plays out.
Yeah, let's just hope it's not so copy and paste and
Yeah,
lame
with
like
nothing to
Odyssey's
fill
is.
it.
Yeah.
But
That's
do you
cool.
have anything else to
But
do?
do you know what else will inevitably come out on the PS5?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just following the trend of what happened last time, we'll definitely get a Last of Us 2 remaster on the PS5 next year.
Which, which small reminder from an hour or two ago in the recording. Drops in 7 hours. So
7 hours, yeah. We're not 7 hours in the podcast, 7 hours in real life.
no. If if you're
I
watching the
mean, since
podcast, you
you
go,
said
wait,
9 hours
did that come
earlier.
out?
You said 9 hours earlier, but we've had a bit of technical difficulties, so we've had to kind of stop and start again. But you won't notice that because I'm going to edit it. So, and I'm not going to edit this bit out. So if you're listening to this,
Probably helps. If it
congratulations.
does sound a bit janky, which I doubt it will, he's a good editor. That's why.
I don't want to edit this now. But yeah, so The Last of Us 2 is coming out tomorrow
And
at the time of recording this.
yep. And almost
And
definitely be on the PS5.
yeah, they'll do exactly what they did last time. But I thought it'd be kind of cool to revisit The Last of Us Part 1.
Yeah.
Since that's coming out tomorrow. Now, just to keep it, I want to keep this brief because we're not going to do a full review or anything like that. I think we'll just
Everyone's heard reviews for this game. It's
talk about it for we'll talk about it for like 10, 20 minutes or so, whatever. But yeah, no, I recently replayed through the entire game. You said you didn't quite finish it again, but you finished it multiple
I've
times.
finished multiple times. I know
Yeah, same.
most.
I think this
points,
is.
so
I think this is the fourth time I've finished The Last of Us. I think now.
if I finish it before 12 tonight, it will be the fourth time for me.
Yeah. But such a good fucking game, and I it's actually interesting because replaying it now, because it's been like I said, it's been solid 5 years since I last played this game.
Yeah.
And replaying it now, there's so many like little parts of this game that I just forgot about. So playing through it again right now, there was like so many little parts of the game where I was like, oh, this is kind of cool, or like, because like I always remember obviously, the big character moments or the big set pieces and things like that. But like the entire part of the story where, when they go and they meet Tommy, at the like
At the dam.
the damn thing, yeah. And then Ellie runs off. I completely forgot about that part completely. So when Ellie runs off and I'm like, oh, okay. And then we get on the horses and we follow her. You have that little shootout bit and then you go up to that little house on the farm.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't even remember any
I
of this.
mainly remember that because a friend and I used to always say, "You're walking on mighty thin ice here," and it is like my most remembered jog one.
No, no. See, I remember that conversation, but I just
You
didn't
don't remember
remember it
meeting
in the
up.
context of what was going on in the game, right?
Yeah,
So that was quite fun to play that house, and then afterwards you've got to kind of like get out of the house and take out the guys that are there, and I thought that was kind of fun.
yeah,
But there are just a lot of like little level moments like that throughout the game that I just don't remember, and it was kind of cool coming back and still being surprised by things that I probably should remember but don't. um, but also, like, one thing I like, and this is something, I've always noticed it, but like, I just noticed it a lot more this time round, was just the little moments between Joel and Ellie,
yeah.
just in the gameplay,
The
they'd be
ones
just like,
I only made it up to I just before an hour before we started recording, I finished Billstown.
yeah,
So that's fairly early in the game. I just
yeah,
through shooting a bunch of looters in I think it's I forget Pittsburgh. That's the name. Um, even up to that point when Joel hardly knows Ellie,
yeah,
the character moments are great. Like one thing I love that The Last of Us does is the a character will stop and you can go press triangle to have a conversation with them.
yeah, yeah,
Like Ellie will see a video game cabinet in the cafe in
yeah,
Billtown,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and she'll be
yeah,
like, "Oh, this is so cool," and you're like, "This is a nice character building moment that isn't forced on you,
yeah.
but if you see
And a
it,
lot
it
of,
feels nice."
yeah, there's a lot of like just those little moments just peppered throughout the game. That honestly, if you don't take, and it's really great because it does mix up the gameplay a bit. Like it does slow things down for
Mm,
quite a bit, and the game's really good at also just having these long little sections in between combat sections where you're just walking through and exploring
yeah,
rather than going through, and that's where a lot of these moments are at, like the university, for example. When you first get to the
I love the
university,
beginning of the university level
yeah, it's literally the whole like first bit of that section
as you
is
try
just
and find
riding
your way in,
around.
and
Yeah, it's just riding around on this horse in this university, and there's like monkeys everywhere and shit.
and
um
everyone
and then,
knows the scene, but I feel
yeah,
like you're about to say it. But
oh no, that happens a bit later on, but it's the like you go through the university, right? And then it's actually quite quiet, and it's quite calm and whatever, and then you've got to open that gate, so you have to go and make your way through the actual university campus, like one of
mm,
the dorms, and like you've got three levels to that dorm, right? And the top level and the bottom level are completely fine, but that middle level is just filled with like clickers and and like a bloater and stuff. So you got to kind of like
that is the only
sneak your way
part of the
through.
game that I actually actively hate. Not for its design; it's a well-designed part of the level.
Yeah,
Just my most dreaded part of any playthrough of The Last of Us, where I'm like, ah,
yeah.
I have to go through this again.
Yeah, it's very tough to get through without also having it resolve in a shootout and having to kill everyone.
Loader
It's
will
a very
always
tough,
stop you.
yeah, it's a very tough section of the game to get through, but it's such a cool little thing. And then, and it's also it's like one of those few sections of the game that's very tense. Like even after playing that game 4 times, it's still very tense, that section of the game.
Most areas with clickers and things are kind of open enough that you can
Yeah,
maneuver, whereas this is a
but this
very
is very
tight
close
corridor,
quarters.
and there's like
Yeah,
two in one room, one in the other room, one's running the
yeah,
hallway, and then there's the bloater that you have to get past in the end. And the whole time you're slowly moving your way around trying to avoid everything. It's not one of those
yeah,
moments where you can stop and think about how you proceed. You're just kind of
yeah.
on the move until you figure it out.
Yeah, it's very good. I will say there's a lot of great little gameplay moments
Yeah,
like that. I will say, like, I think playing this game in 2020 though,
it feels a bit
um
dated.
yeah, it doesn't like I don't want to say it lets it down a bit, but like
I think,
even at the time, like there are so many other games that do the gameplay of The Last of Us better.
yeah,
And I'm not saying the gameplay of The Last of Us is bad or anything. What I'm saying, it's very good. Like it's really good, but I think when you take a look at each individual element, there are
even
hundreds of games that
even
do
Naughty
that
Dog's
better.
own series does it better. Uncharted
Yeah,
does it better.
Yeah, but that doesn't want to take like I think as a game, The Last of Us is fine. I don't think it's like the best game.
It is a package to progress a
It's
story. It is,
yeah, it's competent. It does its job. Um, but I will say it's paced very well. The
yes,
gameplay
it
loop is
is.
paced really nicely. Obviously, like I think when we talk about The Last of Us, like no one remembers The Last of Us for its gameplay. Like everyone, like Last of Us. I mean, even the story's pretty bare bones, pretty basic story.
It's the character
It's
moments.
yeah, it's a story we've seen 1,000 times before. It's nothing original. But what sets this game apart is, like you said, it's those character moments between Joel and Ellie. It's the side characters you meet. And one thing I do want to comment on is just how well realized this world
Yeah,
is.
like
Um, it's not just the characters, but like just the world. There's all these little things and details in the world that really flesh out just what has happened to this society, and how the outbreak has led to this
yeah,
point. The world building is incredible.
it doesn't feel
um
the need to close off a character or to even necessarily lead in. Like going into Bill's town, right? You
yeah,
you learn who Bill is through Joel telling Ellie, and like that's normal exposition kind of stuff before you meet a character. But
yeah,
one of the notable things that I found kind of strange is a lot of the time, this is just after Tess has died, um,
yeah,
and Joel's a bit touchy about it, and Bill keeps bringing Tess up, and
yeah,
you find out that Bill's fucking partner killed himself because he hates
yeah, yeah,
Tess
yeah,
that
yeah,
much. Um, which leads into another point after this of after you get to the end, you have that kind of expectation where Joel's gonna tell Bill that Tess is dead,
yeah,
but he doesn't. He just leaves. Bill doesn't die. Bill's alive and does his own thing. People go off and do their own thing, and it doesn't
yeah,
tie them off in a way that a game usually would.
yeah. It's no, it's really good. It's like like you're on an adventure, but yeah, it does help make that world feel like
Like,
it's lived in, where all these side characters have kind of their own lives,
yeah,
and
they're
they're not just like,
Joel's stepped
oh,
in, and now they're gonna
yeah,
go back to do what they do.
it's like Joel's it's like Tommy, like he's now got this life with his wife and looking after these, like this group of people.
Yeah,
And so like there's that part of the game where he's like, oh well, I've got to do this, but then Joel's like, no, we will do this ourselves, you stay here. And it's just like you get all these little character moments with side characters
yeah,
that you just like, oh, that's nice. That's obviously the ones that don't die, of course.
yeah.
um,
And even then, like, you only know the notable deaths in the game besides Tess, um, Sam and Henry, I would say.
yeah,
You only know them for what, chapter and a half? Chapter
yeah. You're not with them for a very long time, but
when they go.
that seems tough because like the game spends a lot of time making you like care about those characters.
Yeah, you Ellie's forged a friendship with them. John's
Yeah,
starting to get along with Henry, or
yeah,
whichever one the older brother was. And you think you have that moment of hope because the game is peppered with a lot of optimism in an otherwise fucking dark place.
yeah,
Um, you think for just a moment the optimism is going to shine through, that they're going to live and join the adventure, and then it tears it fucking down.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
that whole set. Like first when the little brother dies,
yeah,
like oh fuck. You kind of feel the
yeah.
implication. Then you're like, okay, but at least we've still got the older brother. Nope,
He's fucking offs
off
himself.
himself. And you're just sitting there for like a good couple of minutes, like
I will say like yeah, and the game kind of skips forward quite a bit. Because obviously the game jumps through the different
which
seasons.
is I like the way
Um,
that's formatted. I like the season
yeah,
format.
I really like the part when you're at the university um, the glass building in the university,
Yeah.
and you find out obviously the fireflies aren't there and whatnot, and then there's a bunch of like raiders and stuff, hunters and whatnot, and then you fall off, and the game goes out of its way to make you think Joel dies,
Yeah.
and then I love going through that part. Because then you cut to Ellie and it's like,
Winter
like
now.
it's winter and she's off doing her own thing, and you have that whole section with her for a bit before it comes back to, and I mean, playing that game for the first time, I mean, obviously I know playing it now Joel's not dead, but like playing that for the first time, that's really well written and really well paced out, because it's not like in the Rise of Skywalker where they seemingly kill off Chewie in one scene and then like a
Yeah.
scene later it's revealed he's alive.
No, they
Like
sit on
they
it.
let
They
it
wait.
they let it yeah, they let it breathe just enough before that reveal comes. Um, it's quite nice. I actually like the whole sections in the middle of the kind of latter part of the game with
The
Ellie.
winter section was
Um,
great, and the winter section is like the penultimate bit of this world is fucked.
yeah,
Like you feel earlier when like the looters happen and things, be like, oh, this is casual post-apocalyptic stuff, the usual, and then you meet the cannibal.
yeah, you get the whole cannibal section, and I just love that whole bit. Um, how like that whole section with Ellie crosses over with Joel's, and then they meet up again, and it's kind of that
Yeah,
moment that that kind of relationship between Joel and Ellie is kind of cemented itself, is kind of like that moment. It's very well written.
it's
um
it's terrifying running from David in that restaurant as Ellie.
yeah,
All
it
you've
is.
got is a
Yeah,
knife and some glasses, I think it was, or whatever this
yeah
stuff was you could
it's
use as defense items.
it's a very tight, like, it's very open space, but it is pretty tense because he moves very quickly in one of the parts as well.
Mm.
Like once you've hit him a couple of
And
times, he starts
when
running
the
really
fire
quickly.
starts closing you in,
Yeah,
the
it's actually odd though how quickly he starts moving after he's been stabbed like 5 times. He's just like, yeah, no, like he just moves quicker. But I like that whole section of the
and I'd
game.
like to just give credit to Nolan North here.
Yeah,
I never knew he was David until I saw the credits. I was like, who the fuck did
yeah.
Nolan North play? And it was like David. I searched up David. I'm like, what the fuck? That is one of my favorite voice roles for Nolan North, just because I can't tell it's Nolan North.
Yeah, you can usually tell Nolan North quite well because he's got that
Same with Troy
the
Baker.
Nolan North voice.
I think Troy Baker did a great job as Joel.
Oh, Troy's fantastic. The main cast is
Yeah,
fantastic. Like obviously
Naughty Dog
Troy and
knows how to
Ashley.
use their actors.
Yeah, definitely. And like there's a lot of great moments. I mean, I'm definitely gonna have to say, I still fucking get emotional in that opening sequence.
Oh, was Sarah?
Still, after 4 times, yeah. Like that
It's
just
when I
gets
send a
me
message to
every
my friend. I'm
time.
like, well, shit, here I go again on a depression trip right as Sarah gets fucking shot. It's just it
Can
ties
you hear
back to
me?
Sam and Henry. They build up a character so well in so little
Hello,
time
you there?
for you to feel that.
I can't hear you at all.
You know what I mean? Are you here?
I like. Do you want to join and
Shit, really?
reconnect or something?
Oh,
Because you just gone completely dark on my end.
hello? Did your mic die?
What is happening?
What the fuck
Jesus
just happened? I
Christ.
couldn't hear you. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
Yeah, you just completely cut out.
Yeah, so did you.
Yeah, which is weird because I have good connection. Like my connection didn't
Yeah,
drop like it
mine
was
didn't either.
before.
It just
Um,
1 second I was talking and I finished my sentence and then you never responded. I was like, what?
yeah.
Fuck's sake.
Um, anyway, What's the time code here? I'm just gonna write this down quickly. 33. Fucking yeah, whatever. That'll do. Um. So yeah, man, that opening just fucks with me every time.
Yeah, it makes you like with Sam and Henry. It makes you care for characters in so little time, and it's honestly amazing the way they do it. Sarah's there for
Yeah,
like 10
definitely.
minutes, but you still feel shit.
Yeah, it's a very big way to kind of get you started and um oh fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say for a second there. I was gonna say something then I forgot it. Um did you fuck's are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Can you still hear me?
Hello.
Okay. Sorry, it's just when you go quiet, I'm like, fuck, are you actually gone
No, I
quiet
was just
or have
waiting
you
for you to
completely
go
cut
through
out?
with your point.
Yeah, no, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Uh,
So I was kind of hoping you were gonna pick it up.
okay, is this being edited out, or is I feel like
I don't know. Like we'll decide when I edit
if it
it.
doesn't, hi people. No, with Sarah, they do a very good job writing her character. Like the first moment you meet her, she's really likable, and you don't really have a clue that things are gonna go terribly for her. It
Yeah.
it just kind of like if you saw the
Just
promo material, you know that Ellie's gonna be a thing. You
yeah.
might not have clued in yet that Sarah's gonna go, and when Sarah goes, it hits hard, and it's made worse because that's the beginning.
Yeah.
That guard and the higher ups, not necessarily the guard alone, he acted, which is shit, but the higher ups telling him to kill on sight. You're like, what the fuck? The
Yeah.
apocalypse hasn't even started yet.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's funny because after playing the Resident Evil games, I kept getting my Resident Evil and Last of Us controls mixed up.
I did the same thing. Playing the forest with one of my friends, kept pressing triangle, which was jump in that game to open the menu.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Um,
Um,
but
but yeah, no, it's a very good
it
game.
is. I think I don't know if it's what amazes me most is the graphics nowadays feel, even for a remaster, a little bit dated, or not necessarily the graphics, but the character models.
Yeah, I was gonna say the character models. I think the game still looks fucking
Yeah,
gorgeous.
like in cutscenes, Joel's face looks amazing, but in gameplay, you kind of look and go, it's a bit touchy. But like, it's a
Yeah,
2013 game, so I don't.
it's fine.
But what
Yeah,
amazes me is
no,
the very next game that they made was Uncharted 4, which
yeah.
graphically is fucking brilliant.
But also that game was made for the current
That
gen
is true.
hardware, where
Yeah.
Last of Us wasn't made for current gen hardware.
Last of Us feels very much like the last of the Uncharted, early Uncharted Naughty Dog.
Yeah,
It has the same sort of character fidelity, character model kind of look as Uncharted 3 specifically. Um,
yeah,
so it's just amazing to see the evolution of that company as the games go. And
yeah. It's really cool. Yeah, it's such a big step up from Last of Us to Uncharted 4 as well.
and
Like,
now
just
Uncharted
such a
4
huge
to
step
Last
up.
of Us 2. Last of Us 2,
Yeah,
while not as big of an upgrade, still looks
yeah.
chef's kiss.
So that's something I want to say about graphics in general now is I think here right now in 2020, especially with the new consoles coming out, I think we're just reaching the point where graphics are as good as they're ever going to
Yeah,
get.
you can,
Like,
at least in character models and things, like the world,
yeah.
people seem to keep making worlds that are better and better somehow. But you're right, it's kind of plateauing.
Yeah, and to be honest, I started to know this actually years ago.
Oh,
To be honest, I don't think graphics haven't really improved a lot in years. Like you said with the worlds, there's always like little things that are added and improved, and I'm sure there'll be little advances and little things. But in terms of just general graphics as they are, I just like then they've kind of just reached the point. Like, I mean, right now we're getting games with such photorealistic
it's
character models.
no one
It's
wants to
like
cross that uncanny valley, and the only way to
yeah.
stay away from that is to stay where we are. We are the closest we're gonna get for now to a real
Yeah,
live human being without us going, that's really creepy.
with us actually going back to the 90s and actually getting real life human beings.
Good old FMBs.
But yeah, no, I quite enjoy The Last of Us. There is the DLC as well. I mean, I don't really have much more to say on the game itself, other
No,
than the story's really good, the gameplay's good. The ending, it's a very interesting way
it,
to end.
yeah, it kind of it's kind of why I disagree with the sequel.
Yeah, I mean, I've always felt that The Last of Us is a game that never needed a
Yeah,
sequel. I've always felt that, and even when they announced Last of Us Part 2, I was like, honestly, why? Because the story is wrapped up, it's done, you know?
and
And I'm not that I'm against a sequel being
I
made in
think the
general,
biggest
but
problem with the sequel is that it is still Joel and Ellie. I feel like Last of Us, the world of Last of Us suits better.
I'm not going to get into the leaks on that, but yeah.
Yeah, let's not. I already know. Um, it feels more like
But
an
yeah,
anthology series than what should be a continuation of a character.
yeah. Like I don't know. I just never felt the need to ever make a second game of that. In fact, I would have even been fine with not even anthology or anything.
Yeah,
Like,
but
just a
if
one
they
and done.
insist on
You know?
milking, or not milking, it hasn't reached milking point yet. But
Yeah,
if they insist on carrying on a franchise, anthology would have been the way
yeah,
to do it.
yeah. Just tell more stories. Like you could easily take a character from, like do what they did with Uncharted Lost Legacy. Take a couple of characters or something from The Last of Us and just make a
Yeah,
story with them. Or,
heck, I would have
like
liked. I keep coming back to these characters. Sam and Henry, leading up to when
yeah,
they meet Joel.
you could just do that. You could do a story with Tommy.
Yeah,
You could
that's 20
do
years of Tommy building up a fucking encampment. That had have had trials and tribulations.
Yeah, I mean, there was obviously that whole kind of backstory of like a bit of a drama between Joel and Tommy. So you could have told a story about that,
Yeah, if you want to at
you
least pick
know.
one character, Joel and Tommy is a good duo.
Yeah, like you could have, and it would have had that very much like Uncharted 4 vibes.
Yeah, with Sam and Nate. Honestly,
Yeah,
I didn't feel the need to see, because I feel, from what I've heard, it's kind of gonna ruin my likability of some of the characters, and I don't want that.
yeah. It'd be interesting to see. Like, I mean, I mean, I know some of the leaked stuff, but I've been trying my best to
Yeah,
stay clear
likewise.
from it. But I will say the leaked stuff that I do know, I predicted anyway. Like, I pretty much from the very first trailer
I predicted one.
of The Last of Us 2, I kind of predicted, like, okay, this is going to go a certain way. I feel like, not so much in terms of the plot, but in terms of certain individual characters. I was like, okay, I think I have an idea of where they're gonna
Yeah,
go with this, and like I think it feels natural, but
it doesn't feel needed.
yeah, like you just don't need to make a second game. You just not do it. But I'm excited to play it either way. Like I think it'd be good. I think it'll be. I don't think gameplay wise it's gonna be much of a
Yeah,
step up. In fact, from a lot of reviews that have come out, they've pretty much said it's just the same. It's just more Last of Us. It hasn't really innovated or done anything
which is
unique or
okay.
different.
It doesn't need to.
It's fine. It doesn't have to. It's as long as it's good and it's competent and it's
Yeah,
tight.
it's not unlike Uncharted. It's not like Uncharted, which has a lot of possibilities and where it can go.
Mm.
Um,
Uncharted also has a lot of like set piecey stuff as
yeah,
well, where I found like The Last of Us does have a couple of set pieces, but it's not really like set piecey. It's more of like, oh, you have like, like a lot of the like big stuff that happens are in cutscenes or
yeah,
something, and then you've got to like maybe you get separated from Ellie and you've got to shoot your way out of a, building or
yeah.
something and find your way back to Ellie or whatever. Like, there's not a lot of set pieces in Uncharted.
It's
In The
very,
Last of Us. When you,
besides the
yeah,
virus itself, it's a very grounded
yeah.
experience. Whereas
Where when you
Uncharted
compare
likes
it
to
to
go up and
Uncharted,
above. It's supernatural. Uncharted's Indiana Jones.
yeah, Uncharted has a lot of that like, well, that action set piecey. Like a lot of Last of Us focuses around stealth.
Yeah,
That's where Uncharted's more focused
yeah, which
on.
is
Here's the next shootout segment
and
before we get to the big next set piece, and then here's a quick puzzle, and then we're back to another shootout. Where this is more like, oh, here's a room full of clickers. You could shoot your way through it if you want, or you could try and do this
yeah,
stealthily.
which I think is
Um,
where stealth is a very hard thing to innovate on.
Yeah, I mean, Last of Us does stealth very
It
well.
does. And that when you do something very well, that makes it even harder to build upon. Um,
Yeah,
Uncharted's
yeah,
main focus is run and gun, and
yeah,
for instance, the grappling hook was um, a great addition to help with that thing. You can't add anything to The Last of Us to properly flesh out its stealth that wasn't already there.
yeah. And like I say, like if it ain't broke, don't fix
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
That kind of thing. Um, but yeah, I'm pretty excited. But that's all. I mean, in terms of the main game, that's really all my thoughts
Yep.
on the main game. Like I said, because this isn't a proper review, so we're not going in depth. But there's the DLC as well, which
Left
is
Behind,
left behind.
it's a nice little thing. It shows you Ellie um
Yeah,
before everything. It gives you more character moments, but it doesn't hit quite as well. Because I
yeah, a little bit more of an
don't care.
optimistic Ellie as well.
Yeah, before her life got turned to shit for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and it's actually interesting to though do that because her perspective is coming from a perspective where the world has just always been this way,
yeah,
you know. So, she's just grown up in this world, but then they still manage to completely turn her world upside down. Where like
yeah,
You know, Joel and all the older characters, grew up and existed in this world before the virus,
yeah.
and so that's when their world gets turned upside down, where for Ellie it's like this is just normal, it's every day for her.
It's funny
But
how even though it's normal, she doesn't know too much. Like,
yeah,
when you reach the suburbs in Billstown, once you get through a certain segment, Ellie turns around and goes, there's more of those clicker things. I'm like, and then you notice that you're like, wait, Ellie doesn't properly know what clickers are.
well, yeah, but it could be maybe she's grown,
Like,
because I
yeah,
think they
she
do
grew
here,
up in a
she's grown up in that
quarantine
kind
zone,
of,
yeah.
yeah, the quarantine zone.
It's just
Yeah,
interesting how little information gets into there about the threats on the outside.
yeah.
That's another world thing. That's
Well, yeah, and you do see it as well, like when you leave kind of the quarantine zone with Ellie, at the start of the game, she's everything's all new to her outside those walls. Like
yeah.
she's never been, and yeah, it's definitely interesting. It's a interesting perspective, and I think it could have been, obviously with the second game, we're getting a bit of an older Ellie, so nothing's new anymore. So, there's kind of that little magic that's in her character is kind of I think
Gone.
probably gonna be is gone
Yeah.
in this second game. But I'd be interested to see how it
I
plays
will
out.
too. Ellie is also a very good vehicle for exposition.
Yeah, I barely remember Left Behind, to be honest with you.
I
I
just
remember
remember
like
like the final
little bits.
standout where she has a big moment with her girlfriend and then her girlfriend dies. That's it.
Yeah,
Also throwing bricks at a car.
yeah. I remember the little photo booth bit.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Um,
There's also a multiplayer mode. I don't know. I've never played
I
it.
played a lot of the multiplayer mode.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't care for it, to be honest.
I
I care
think
for single player game multiplayer modes.
I think it's one of the better multiplayer modes for a
Hmm.
single player game. It
Yeah. Well, I mean, it can't be any worse than Tomb Raider 2013's
yeah, don't
multiplayer.
remind me of that shit show. Um,
Do you know what? That game is such a fucking hilarious thing to play now because there's still a little bit of a player base on the PS4, so you can like pop into Tomb Raider 2013 and jump back, and my god, like it controls like absolute shit, like because it was made by Eidos
yeah,
Montreal, right? Who obviously recently made Shadow of the Tomb Raider. They developed that, but back then they just did the multiplayer, and you can tell because even though the controls are the same, the movement, the everything's just so different to the actual game, and it's just like it just doesn't feel the same, and it's really odd. But that's fucking hilarious to play. I remember last year I played a little bit of it for no reason. I was just bored, and fuck, that was fun. It was just hilarious and stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, I've never played the Last of Us one. I did play a bit of the Uncharted 4 one, but I didn't really get into
No,
it,
neither.
and I just assumed that the Last of Us is the same
Nah,
because
you can get pretty well into it if you're into
yeah,
strategic stealth kind of multiplayer.
yeah. Do you know what's actually a multiplayer mode in a single player franchise that I quite enjoyed? And that was the early Assassin's Creed multiplayer,
Yes,
where you had to like
great
just like
multiplayer.
sneak around.
I love
That was
multiplayer.
fun. Yeah, I did quite enjoy the co-op in Unity as
Yeah,
well, but like that multiplayer mode was quite fun.
so
But yeah,
we
oftentimes
come
it's like
back a
some
bit.
tacked on, whatever,
This is
oftentimes
how
it's
we get
developed.
microtransactions in.
Yes, microtransactions. But yeah, often it's like this tacked on, like
Yeah, I
mode
know
that's not
they're
really like,
pretty garbage.
yeah,
They can't commit to what they're doing.
yeah. But it's still cool though. I quite enjoy. I do always suss out a multiplayer mode, but for some reason I just never bothered with The Last of Us ever. I
I
just
enjoy.
was like, I don't care. Well, that's good. But yeah, any final thoughts on The Last of Us?
I think
Anything?
the final thought is, like you said earlier, the final scene of the game, which
Yeah,
hits hard.
does.
It,
Joel's such a selfish cunt.
but like I have this argument about
But like you understand though, like
what is the
you
point of getting a vaccine anymore?
yeah. I mean I can see that argument. Like I mean I think it's just because like, you know, when you think about it, like it is a very selfish
Yeah,
thing that he does. Like and and it's not like Ellie would know because the last time Ellie was conscious was when she just before she drowned
yeah,
in that little stream thing. Like remember that part where like
yeah,
yeah, then like the bus collapses or
yeah,
whatever and she falls into the water and she's drowning or whatever. She actually stops breathing for a bit as well. So like that's the last thing she would know. So she wouldn't even be aware of it at all, Like she like from her perspective, she probably could have just died then and there and she wouldn't notice any difference. But,
yeah.
like I get why Joel does what he does though. Like
You
it's
can see
like
the
that's
build
what's
up the entire game. The
yeah.
whole point is him rekindling that father daughter connection.
Yeah. And actually, that's another thing I want to add. Like, I really do like how that character development between the two is kind of paced throughout the game.
Yeah,
There was one moment though. There are a couple of little tiny moments where I'm like, why have you waited like months to say that? That's really odd. Like, there's a couple of parts kind of in the middle of the game or earlier in the game that are referenced later on in the game
it,
when it's meant to be like months
yeah. It's
later, and
kind of
it's a little
noticed
bit
whenever they
odd.
swap seasons, they
It's a little bit,
finish off
yeah, it's a
one.
little bit odd. Yeah, like I mean, I guess the part is when after Sam and whatnot after they die,
Yeah,
and it just skips, and you're at the unit, you're like heading into that. No, is it the
it's a
university area
dam
that
after
comes
that.
after that, or yeah, yeah, and Ellie's just like really quiet.
Yeah, and you're like you've had.
Oh no, hold on, it's not that part. It's later on. It's before the giraffes.
Yeah, you're leaving
And
the
yeah, so
Spotlight
it's after,
City. So
yeah, it's after that whole period of time where like you play as Ellie and she's like fighting off the cannibals and whatnot, and
yeah,
you rescue her, and then the game, and then after that she's quiet, and like I get that probably like would have taken its impact on her, but like there's this line of dialogue at some point, and it references something in that section. It's like after the giraffe bit, and it references something from like what would have been, if you think about it in terms of the timeline, it would have been like at least 3 or 4 months prior.
yeah.
And it's like oh yeah, it's the bit when Joel says, Joel, like, it's the bit like in the early part that you were saying earlier where like Ellie's saying that she's not Sarah, and you have that, you got some treading on some mighty thin ice line here. They reference that particular conversation in the scene with the giraffes.
Hmm.
And it's like, why you reference, like, I get narratively, like when you think of it from a narrative
It
perspective, and
works.
you think of like how it paced out, it works fine. Like it's a really nice part. There's been just enough time, just enough's happened, and they've grown just enough to reach that kind of mutual
But
point. But
realistically,
like
it's months
when
down
you
the
when you
line.
think about it in terms of timeline, it's been like at least 3 or 4 months.
Yeah,
Like at least since that conversation. It's a bit odd. So there's like a few little things, but like I mean, if you're looking at the character development solely from a narrative perspective,
yeah,
in how the narrative is paced out throughout the game, then it's really nicely
it
done,
is.
really well paced.
And
Yeah,
it all culminates in that final scene of Ellie asking if Joel lied to her
yeah,
and him.
and then he just lies again.
And the only kind of thing I would want to see in Last of Us 2 is the fallout of if she ever found out that he lied. But I don't think
Yeah.
it's gonna lead into that, so
Yeah. I mean, all the fireflies, I guess. Well, they're not all dead.
no,
I mean, there's still the rest of the fireflies from that building that Joel didn't
yeah, and you
kill.
don't have to
Um,
kill the scientist from memory, do you?
no,
No, you don't.
I shot all three surgeons in my last playthrough. Like I know in that last part when you go in and there's like the surgeons, they're about to do the operation, and there's three of them there. There's like the surgeons and the two assistants, right? And when you walk in, the two assistants like back down, and then that surgeon's like standing there being like, "Hey, whatever," and then he grabs the knife and you have to shoot him. Um, the other two, like after you shoot him, the other two like assistants are like there being like, and she says something and the guy's like, shut up, like don't say anything, just let him take her. um yeah, that's pretty funny when you just shoot them before you shoot the surgeon. I shot both of them, they just ragdolled and then they just left there, and then I was like, I had no reason to shoot these people, but I just thought it was funny, so I did
The
it.
world got to me.
I was very immersed, alright.
Um,
Fuck, that's my phone. My phone fell off the desk. Um, but yeah, no, I'm excited to play Last of Us 2, and I think we'll definitely, there's not really much to say about it that hasn't been said. So, I definitely will come back to Last of Us. I don't know if we'll get to it next episode. It really depends on what happens when we actually record that, but two, when, depending on what happens with like the online Comic Con coming up and
hmm,
all the gaming events. So I don't know when we'll get to
their
Last of Us
plans
Part
are
Two.
gone.
Yeah, we'll probably do it. Will be within the next at least episode or two, at least I
Yeah,
think.
just first
We'll see what
and stuff.
happens. Yeah, we'll see what
Yeah,
happens. But yeah, that's all I have to say about The Last of Us. It's a good
yeah,
game. If you haven't played it,
play it.
why?
If you haven't played
For
it, well done. You
starters,
just learned everything.
I mean, it is a spoiler class,
Oh
class,
yeah,
isn't it?
no, no excuses on our end. Oh no, plenty of excuses on our end. It's all on you
No, yeah,
guys. Blaming the
yeah.
audience.
Um, But yeah, I'm not even gonna ask for a bullshit rating because like I
No,
wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10, but I'd give it a good solid, like 8 out of 10.
yeah,
I think. I think 8 out of 10 is a nice rating for that because like that covers all the stuff that does really well, and then those like kind of last two numbers are just from the fact that the gameplay isn't very innovative.
no,
It isn't very, it doesn't do anything we haven't seen
yeah,
before.
which is fine. You don't
And that's
have to.
even, by the way, that's even for the time. Like even in 2013,
Yeah,
even just looking at this gameplay now in retrospect, it's not just about the years since 2013. Like, it's kind of made me realize that even in 2013, this really wasn't, that much better than other games at the time. But,
they
again,
give you the characters.
yeah, it's the story. Well, not even the story. It's just the character moments, the world building, the things like that that really get you
Yeah,
in. And
which I'd happily
just
take
playing,
more from the world of The Last of Us, which is why I said
yeah,
anthology series. Which I'm a bit disappointed that by the sounds of it, the TV series is going to be Ellie and Joel again.
yeah. They should just cast fucking Troy Baker.
I mean, they did have that
Just
live
Yeah, I know
stage
the
thing.
live stage thing. Yeah, I mean Troy Baker's quite still looks like doesn't look anywhere near Joel, but like you could just age him up a little bit. That's fine. Put a bit of grey in his hair. You could probably do a bit of prosthetics or CGI on his face. Whatever. Doesn't matter.
That's actually, I do want to quickly bring up. Does Joel look like I can't tell what Joel's background is. Is he hard-blooded Texan or?
Yeah, look.
Because his face model sometimes looks like it's a different kind of racial background. Like, what are you?
I don't
It
know.
doesn't matter, but
I,
what are you?
he's very white.
Sometimes,
He's a bit
yeah,
tanned.
sometimes tanned.
Yeah, it's great. I love it.
But yeah,
But yeah, that's cool. Well, I think we should wrap this
yeah,
up.
we're
This
gone for a
very
bit.
this we have, but it's also been a very treacherous recording
Yeah,
session.
this hasn't been one of the better
Um,
ones.
yeah, it hasn't been great. I'm gonna have to edit it now. Fantastic. But yeah, so I think we'll wrap it up there. So next episode will probably be, we'll probably catch up on all the gaming news that's come out.
The
Just kind of go
E3 and
through
whatever
that.
else shows up, since I don't keep up with all
Yeah,
these different things.
yeah. But we'll figure it
Yeah,
out. We'll see what happens. And
12-month plan as well and surely gone.
oh yeah, no, like there's one part of that original plan that I was planning out that we still haven't done yet. But it's just kind of we're getting to the point of the year where things are starting to happen again. So I don't know if we'll ever get to it, but yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah. So as always, this by the way, we now I mean I haven't posted anything on it, but I think I would have mentioned this last episode, but we also have a Turning Point Entertainment Instagram page at the moment.
I think you mentioned
Um,
that, or mentioned setting
well,
it up. I don't think
I'm
you mentioned.
mentioning it again. Yeah, I've set it up. I haven't posted anything on it still, but it's there, so you can find that. And I still haven't since the last episode. I still haven't put these up on Spotify because the problem is going to be a bit time consuming to do that because I actually have to upload each individual episode.
Right.
Like I haven't been able to upload them, so we've got like 5 episodes that I need to upload. So that'll happen eventually. And I just bought a PC, so I have no money to pay the podcast people yet. But that'll be happening soon enough. But yeah, as always, you can find my social media links in the description below, or you can't. I honestly don't know if I've been posting them, to be honest. Um, but yeah, it's pretty exciting. Yeah, I think you should just take it out. I think we should wrap it
All
up.
right.
Nothing really else to add.
Um. Yeah, no, I think we've cleared through things. In that case, thank you very much for listening, everybody. Um, we'll catch you all next time with whatever the hell we're talking about.